Ladies and gentlemen and all gents outside between, delve deep into your bits of popcorn and throw them at the raiders, throw them at the cheeky devils. Look at these people coming in here. I mean, really, could you even imagine who do they think they are? The absolute audacity, the scandal, the preposterousness, the outrage. How very dare they? How very dare they come in here, Aphelion Panda? Getting all up in our business as we're trying to indulge ourselves in a little Monday evening, you know. Good lord, you cheeky devil. How's it going, Aphelion Panda? Thank you so much for bringing all your beautiful people in here, your chaos pandas, as they pander to my ego. It's quite outrageous, I have to say. How you doing, you beautiful individual? Thank you so much for bringing your people in here. People go check out Aphelion Panda. Aphelion Panda is a very, very good friend of ours, an old school friend of ours. We have known Aphelion Panda for a very, very long time. Doing some more Kingdom Hearts. How are you finding it? Is it great? Is it wonderful? Is it glorious? Is it bringing you a nice warmth in this little soul? Have you sat there and gone, Disney was pretty shit, but this game is bloody amazing. And thank you so much for bringing your people here. Friends, if you're new here, 2 things you should know about this channel. 1, you're not allowed to apologize. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of saying sorry, I'm such a burden, say thanks for being there for me. It'll make you a much more positive individual. 2, if you're under the age of 18, I have to ask you to leave. I've got to ask you to leave, but I am a colossal filth wizard. I don't be corrupting the ears of the young. It's not what I'm about. No, you cheeky little devils. Give me 2 seconds, because I also need to get the mirror, and I forgot about it. Get the mirror. Because we've got a couple to add on here as we were starting things off here. Lunicorn gifting a sub to Helena the Unicorn. Lunicorn, I hope you're doing well. I hope the family's doing as good as possibly can be. You beautiful bean.
Hello, good sir.
Oh my lordy. And Julian as well, coming in with a 54 months. Outrageous. Welcome on in, you cheeky little devil. How you doing? How's it going? God, I've got a few of you to write on here now. Lunicorn, thank you very much for giving that sub to Helena. Helena the Unicorn. And then Kip Inkling coming in with a prime. And then Julian Synthetic. Being a paid subscriber for 54 months, taking us that one step closer to the 60-40 split for August. You beautiful, beautiful individual. I appreciate you all so much. Your names are now inscribed upon the Mirror Vein. By having your names upon the Mirror Vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devils. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes, but the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? Well, God damn, do I make rough look good? Oh, sexy, oh, yes, meow, you know? Yeah, no, you cheeky devils. Right, now that that's all done, Aphelion Panda, I was getting my ass handed to me by the bosses. It does have some good story music, though. I remember the music being very, very good. I only ever played the first ever Kingdom Hearts. Way back in the day. And I personally, and this is a personal thing, it's a personal thing, no judgment on anybody else. I personally struggle with Disney overall. I don't like Disney as a company. I don't like the way they do things, and that affects my view of Disney generally. However, I have heard that the Kingdom Hearts stories are very, 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 very good. So I'm glad that you are enjoying it, even if you were getting your ass handed to you by the bosses. You know, again, people from my stream, go and check out Aphelion Panda. We love Aphelion Panda. Panda's absolutely amazing. Just a wonderful gem of a human being, and deserves all of your love and support. Now, let me say hello to people. How's it going, Eris Ptolemy, Harry, Nuria? I can never remember how to pronounce your name, but welcome on in. Loki the Khajiit, how you doing? How's it going? Salty Sea King, cheeky little devil, Simplex Pachinko, welcome on in. Zooty Booty, how is it going? Vampire Nix, Helly Cheeky Devil, Vexatious Quipster, how you doing? How's it going? First time chatter, Kiki Moonchild, welcome on in. Thank you very much for coming in and saying hello. I appreciate that. Music scared me a bit, was spacing out. Yeah, so I had some more issues with audio. To the surprise of nobody at this stage, I had some more issues with my audio stuff, so I had to reset some audio bits and pieces and then restart the song that we were listening to. Today's intro track was from an old band called Saints of Sin that have changed their name to SOS, and it was one of their old tracks called Heartbeat, which I was a massive fan of back in the day. Back in the day, it has to be said. Scott, how you doing, Felly Flitzberg, cheeky devil? Loving the fish intro. I haven't been able to get to the fish shop to buy more fish yet, but in the process, I've been on a bit of a mission recently, friends. My muscles ache. I am pretty sure I'm coming down with some kind of lurgy. The sun has fucked off and suddenly it's grey and cloudy and miserable here today. But I got so much done. So much done. Thursday and Friday was wild. I managed to like clean the entire house down, move all the furniture out, like hoover and mop and clean down the front of the house, cut all the front bits out. Just, it was great. It was wonderful and it's glorious. And I'm glad that I finally have a fucking clean house that I can feel genuinely not on edge about. I didn't realize quite how much I was feeling on edge until I have now cleaned it. And then I was like, oh my God, there's like a weight that has been lifted from my shoulders. It is all gone. I feel so much lighter, so much airier, it's amazing how much that was weighing me down, and I didn't even realize. And then I was like, oh fuck. But in the process of that, I started prepping a second tank. So I have this fish tank that is a waiting fish, and I have started prepping another fish tank that I'm going to keep goldfishing. I've got a tattoo of two goldfish here, a twin tail, excuse me, and a black moor. And I'm going to get a twin tail and a black moor in honor of somebody who was very, very, very close to me and I miss very, very much. But yeah. How's it going, Helen the Unicorn? How's it going? How was your weekend? The weekend was pretty good, thank you. The weekend was pretty bloody good, yeah. Had some friends round to play a cyberpunk tabletop roleplay game that my friend has been inventing, which has been fucking amazing. And that was on Friday night, and we finished relatively early. Normally we finish like 4 or 5 in the morning, but we actually finished by about 2, half 2-ish. And then on Saturday, my housemate Classic Chunk had some friends around because one of his friends was turning 40. So we all sat and we had a fire in the garden before anybody panics. I know there was an alert that went out on the Friday night saying, no fires, don't worry about it. Like, I had buckets of water ready. I had the hose ready. We were all taking precautions. It was in a fully closed fire pit that had a big grate over it. So there's no chance of like bits popping out from all over it. Okay. And I also dosed the entire garden with a healthy amount of water so that everything was drenched, so there was no quick way for anything to flare up in like a tinder kind of fashion. There have been some wildfires in the UK recently. People be panicking. People be panicking about bits and pieces, you know? However, today it has been fucking bucketing it down. I have enjoyed the storms that we have seen over the past like 24 to 48 hours, and yeah, it's been good. It's been all right. It's been okay. Quiet Cat, how you doing? How's it going? Lunicorn Cheeky Devil, how you doing? How's it going? Got a new car. Congratulations, Vampire Nix, you beautiful individual. I've got to get back to work. No worries. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. Caro, you beautiful being, how you doing? How's it going? Mendiza, hello, you cheeky devil. Eris told me with the 440 stream streak. Look at me, all naked on a Monday. I know. Avert thine gaze? No, how dare you? How dare you? We will never avert our gaze. Our gaze can run rampant all they fucking want. As well you know, Eris, all right? Zooey Boo coming in with the 195 stream streak. The pair of you running around all naked all over the place. How dare you? How dare you indeed? Stacy, hello, you beautiful being. Claudithus, hello, you wonderful individual. I am catching up with chat steadily but surely. Semba, Aphelion Panda, JM Beard, Karma Dash, how you doing? Oh my lordy, all these beautiful people coming in here. Kip Inkling, of course. Qualia, hello, you cheeky devil. Went to the aquarium, visited the fish. I'm very glad to hear it. Did you see any fish that you particularly like the look of, Qualia? Perchance. Becca Gone Bye, welcome back on in. How you doing? How's it going? It's torturing him with boss fights. Still not sorry getting you to play the series. Good, Karma. We all know that a gentle amount of ribbing between friends is the only way to do it. Julian, how you doing? How's it going, Felly Flitzberg? I'm lacing plate lines on paper with ink instead of getting myself lunch. That is fair, so long as you are not going to suffer for lack of lunch, Felly Flitzberg. I am very much one of those people who has like 2 meals a day, so I'm fine without a lunch, a midday meal, as it were. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and I'm good. But if you are a person that does struggle with blood sugars and what have you, make sure that you have stuff available to snaffle upon, you know. The hair looks great today. It's for the first time in a long time, Becca, is cool enough in the atmosphere that I can have my hair down and not be irritated. Because normally what happens when it's really, really warm, as it has been recently, is the sweat means that all of my hair clings to the back of my neck and it irritates the fuck out of me. So I often tie it up when it's too hot because I can't deal with it. It annoys me too much. So it's the first time in a long time that I've been able to wear it like a bit down and what have you, you know? Let the curls breathe. Onion Pencil, how you doing? Honda Dino, you cheeky devil. Doing good. Just found out I've been paying into something at work that if I go to hospital, I get a set of money per day. I did not know I had coverage and already paid my bills, but found out that I could submit a claim. I'm doing that to get refunded my last 2 days stay. Kind of nice. Yo, that sounds amazing, Julian. That sounds bloody fantastic, friend. I hope it's a nice payday for you, for sure, for sure. Frankie D, how you doing, you beautiful individual? Helena the Unicorn coming in with a 20 stream streak, streaking through here. All of you. Look, the sun has disappeared off. The clouds have come back out. It's fucking bucketing it down. All right? I know that you're all very excited because you're like, oh, finally, a little bit of reprieve from the sunshine. But come on. Come on. Running around naked, you'll catch the death of cold, you will. As the elder generation of my local area would say, oh, you'll catch the death of cold. Catch the death of cold. Running around, no clothes, into rain. Catch death of cold. You know? Moosey Fate, long time no see. I hope you're doing well, friend. Milky Porky Cheeky Devil, you are stylish individual, so can I ask your opinion? Is it considered a fashion faux pas to wear socks with sandals? Could it be worse than wearing ankle socks with sandals? Okay. First and foremost, Milky Pork, I am not a fashionista. I know that many people like what I wear, and I like what I wear, but I like what I wear because it makes me feel good, all right? Do I have opinions on what other people wear? Of course I do. We all have opinions on what we see and what we hear and what we sound. Like, we have opinions on everything that we witness in our lives, all right? That does not mean that we get the intention, the openness of expressing that. My view of fashion in general is if it makes you feel good about yourself, then you should wear it. I personally fucking hate socks with sandals. Any socks with sandals. I don't think that ankle socks is any better or worse than any other sock with a sandal, to be honest with you. Socks and sandals, generally speaking, are not something that I personally would ever put together. If you're going to wear socks, you may as well wear shoes. That's my personal view of it, you know? That being said, if you, as a human being, put on a pair of socks and then put on a pair of sandals and you look at yourself in the mirror. Hold on a minute, I'll tell you in a second.
Ahoy ahoy and such. Just had a very friendly interview over the phone and have been invited into an in-person interview. I ended the call and made a loud happy groan. I hope I get the job. If I don't, I still get to enjoy the happy chemicals now.
Too bloody right you do, Jam Jar Brain, you absolutely exquisite individual. I'm very, very glad to hear that, you beautiful human being. Glad to hear that, buddy. It's about bloody time you got a good break with the old Jobberoonie thing. I know you've been searching for a while. Very much appreciate that. Also, thank you very much, Senbar, for shouting out Jam Jar. I was hanging out in Jam Jar's stream earlier on. The raid over from Classic Chunk, and I was like, ooh, bit of art. That'll do me nicely. Well, unfortunately, I had to mute you because I was doing some recordings, but then I unmuted you later on. But I hope you enjoyed your art, you cheeky little devil. Thank you very much, Senpai. I appreciate that. Jam Jar Brain, I should not describe your name on the middle of vein. And then someone's going to have to remind me about what the fuck I was talking about because I've already forgotten. By having your name on the mirror of vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat as well, you know, you cheeky little devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes, but the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But god damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy, oh yes, meow, you know? Being a paid subscriber for 72 months, taking us that one step closer to the 60-40 split for August. You beautiful, beautiful being, you. What was I talking about? Socks and sandals. Thank you very much. Yeah, socks and sandals. So, I personally would never wear it under any circumstance. It's not my bag. I am also a very aesthetically driven individual. I think a lot about my appearance. vain as I am, vain by name, vain by nature, it kind of all goes together, you know. That being said, if you as an individual put on a pair of socks, put on a pair of sandals, and look in the mirror and think, fuck me, this is the greatest. This makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel powerful. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel confident. Then you do you. Then you do you. All right? I am not going to criticize you for feeling good about yourself. I may have my opinions, but my opinions doesn't matter if you feel good. Any of my opinions, any of our opinions do not matter if you feel good about yourself. That is my opinion on fashion as a whole, Milky Pork. And I hope that answers your question. No, it's Karma, you luck where you beautiful being. Also, Astacon, you cheeky devil, thank you very much for kicking the door in with your 30 little panderings for gigantifying that emote. It was a giant foot that came in here. It was quite outrageous. Quite outrageous, I tell you. Ashwood Arrows, welcome on in. So happy to catch a stream. Well, you're very, very welcome here, you beautiful being. I hope you're doing well. We'll update later in Discord, and thank you so much for everything. Very much appreciated. No worries, Lunacorn. I have been keeping my eyes out. I've been keeping my eyes peeled, but please just, if you need to take time, take the time. If you want to speak to any of us, then speak to any of us. If the person in your family who was involved would like to speak to somebody, there are people available. I am happy to talk to them as well, if that would help in any way, shape, or form. I don't know whether they watch my streams or any of that jazz, but the point is there are options there available. However, it has to be what is suitable for you and your family, you know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any luck on finding a smutty book yet? I've got a variety of them, or I've got a list of a variety of them, Becca Gombatty. What I've gone through, because when I do like a short, when I do an Instagram reel or a YouTube short or what have you, it goes out onto Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, and Blue Skies. Is that right? Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Skies. Yeah, so all 6 of those platforms. So I have got a whole load of comments to sift through, as it were. I'm looking for the ones that have got the most likes next to them, because my theory is that if more people have liked that, then it must be more recommended by the overall viewership. But a few of them have piqued my interest. And then on top of that, people have sent me DMs being like, hey, you said about smutty books. These books would do well. And then some people have sent me DMs of their own smut. So there's a lot to sift through. There is a lot to sift through. Not a Mills and Boon. I'm all right without a Mills and Boon, I have to say. I'm all right with that. Mainly because I remember my grandmother having Mills and Boon novels, and that unsettles me. It does. I'm very happy for her who have had Mills and Boon novels. I'm very happy that she had something that would get her hot under the collar, but I don't want to sit and read a Mills and Boon novel because it will remind me of my grandmother in a fashion that I do not want to immediately picture my grandmother, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? That kind of scenario. Pixel Jules, how you doing? How's it going? I'm so excited that I might be going to an IRL horror circus. The Circus of Torment. Interesting. I know that the circus, I knew a few people who performed in the Circus of Horrors for many years, and I still think it's going, despite the fact that the Doc Hayes, who was the guy who ran it, passed away a few years ago. A couple of years ago? Last year? No, a couple of years ago, I'm sure it was. But I think they're still going. Circus of Horror. But I hope you have a wonderful time, Pixel Jules, for sure. Reb Gresh, welcome on in. How you doing? How's it going? Becca Gombatty coming in with the 5 streams in a row. You've been streaking through here. All of these naked people running around all over the place. Outrageous, I tell you. Out bloody rageous. Sexy meow. You know it, Moosey. You know it. I saw fishes in the fishy shop, aka the garden center on Saturday, and now I want a fish, but I've got nowhere to put them currently. You could get some, like a little tank. You could get a little tank, Lunicorn. Or get like there's a thing called a nano tank that you can get, which is like this big. It's like fucking tiny. And they're really good for if you want to have like a beta fish, or as they are also known as fighting fish. That would do you nicely, but you couldn't put anything else in there. You just have to have the one fish, you know. Ashi and Haru would unalive them, would kill them. Eris Ptolemy, I am also unless we are on another platform, I am also against the word unalive. Kill. Murder, death, suicide. We do not want to dilute the importance of those things, you know what I mean? Unless you're trying to get around an algorithm, there is no reason to use those words. There is no reason to dilute and censor yourself for the sake of stupid fucking advertisers. As we talked about the other day, sexual health practitioners are now having to use the word cunt instead of the word vagina, because vagina is censored, whereas cunt isn't. Genuinely a thing. Genuinely a thing. Quiet, Captain Cheeky Doll. Yes, there's a big campaign going on at the moment, Astrocon, because of the fact that so many comedians use the word cunt, and obviously cunt is a derogatory term for a vulva. But so many comedians use the word cunt that cunt isn't suppressed by algorithms, whereas vagina is. You use the professional medical term, you get suppressed by algorithms. You use the derogatory insulting term, which is being reclaimed by a lot of people with vaginas. Use the derogatory insulting term and you get by it. So there's a whole campaign at the moment. There's, funnily enough, being led by medical students to get health professionals to use that word instead of the word vagina in order to get out the correct information. You know? Don't know if I should have a lump or keep doing this lacing. So meditative. Felly Flitzberg, very simple situation. If you are a person that struggles with blood sugars, if you're a person that is likely to feel faint or feel extremely tired or something in between now and the next time that you are able to have food, then you should prioritize food. If you are a person that can survive it because you're all right, you know your own patterns, you know being able to eat, you're just going to be famished later on and stuff like that, or you can eat at your desk. I don't know whether you eat at your desk if you're at home or what have you. I don't know. I don't know whatever your circumstances are. Then prioritize the meditative shit, because that's evidently giving you some dopamine and relaxation. You know what I mean? Quiet Kep, did I give you your cheeky kiss? I can't remember. Nibberin, how you doing, you beautiful individual? It's amazing to finally get cleaning done. The weight is truly heavy. Yes. Well, I butchered the front garden, cut down all of the vines and the creeping ivy, creeping weeds shit. Butchered all of the grassy area out the front of my house as well. Cleaned down the front windows, then moved inside. Pretty much went from, installed a projector in the room behind the curtains. There is now a projector screwed into the ceiling with all of the relevant cables. I spent a small fortune on cables in order to make sure that they can go from the projector up along the roof, down, and then to a relevant area wherever we're going to put laptops and bits and pieces. Cleaned all that up afterwards. Then proceeded to go through the entire house, room by room, cleaning absolutely fucking everything, hoovering everything, and mopping everything. And that took me 2 days. And afterwards, I was fucking shattered and all of my muscles ache. Basically. It feels fucking great to get it done, though, to be honest with you. Absolutely fucking amazing. Am I a little bit pissed off at myself because what I should have been doing is prioritizing some other work? 110%. Abso-fucking-lutely. Am I still very satisfied with the fact that I now am residing in a clean house where I just need to have a quick whip around of the Hoover every week, every few days to keep on top of it? Yeah, absolutely. Until the next event when everything gets torn apart a bit again, you know what I mean? I'm glad that the weather has decided to cool down. I could actually turn off my fan. I love that. Love that. It was nice and foggy here earlier this morning, but then got sunny, which I would have preferred more fog or even rain. We've definitely been having quite a lot of rain, which has been interesting. I got such an itchy nose today. It's because I haven't worn makeup in 4 days, so I'm like, oh yeah, I need to put makeup on, stare at big bright lights that I haven't done in a long time. Yeah, that'll be fun. Masasha, how you doing? Have you heard about the fish owner whose fish stopped eating when he went on vacation, and the staff organized video calls with him for the fish to eat again until he returned? I have never heard of that. Do you know what type of fish it was, Masasha? Perchance? Zabadian, how you doing, you cheeky devil? How's it going? Just got down, done with math. I shall be naked all I want. That is fair. That is fair. I can't argue with that. Do you know what I mean? I can't argue with it. I yearn for the rain. It's quite gloomy here, but no rain alas. Oh, gutted to hear that, Elephant Opera. It pissed it down last night, and it's had little pockets of rain throughout the day today, and it's real gloomy. Normally it's quite bright at this time, but it's really gloomy here at the moment. Nuraya, like me. I like me. Nuraya. No worries. Thank you very much for correcting me. I think I've definitely missed that in the past, but Nuraya. No worries. Swordfish and arowana, and a parrotfish and a manatee, which is not a fish but tries. It does try. Manatees, you got to be really careful of manatees, because oh my lordy, Kelda Spire, you beautiful being coming in with the prime. I appreciate you. You cheeky little devil. I shall now inscribe your name upon the Mirror of Fame. Thank you very much for using your prime here. You could use it anywhere on the entirety of Twitch, and the fact that you choose to use it here means the world to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, apparently I'm wheeling away. All right. They're too rolly, these wheels. Kelda Spire, I've now inscribed your name upon the Mirror Vein. By having your name upon the Mirror Vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. In fact, technically, it's a metaphorical Snapchat because it doesn't even exist anymore because I got sick of pornography bots. But the most important thing is you got to roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow, you know? You cheeky devil. Elephant Opera, how you doing as well? Parrotfish are very, very cool. Parrotfish are one of the reasons why we have tropical beaches, because they eat coral and shit out tropical sand. It's true story. The manatees, yeah, you gotta be really careful with manatees, because manatees Honda Dino, excuse you, Sancho, excuse you, coming in here, gifting 5 community subs just so you can see my titty tassels. Excuse you. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you, you beautiful being. All right. Yeah, manatees are very large and very dopey and very stupid. Well, not stupid. They're just dopey. But they have a terrible, terrible habit of getting... They are the sloths of the water is what they are. But they have a real bad habit of getting really, really attached to humans, to the point where they can get like super depressed if they don't see humans for a while, you know. Azakon, thank you very much for the 111 cheeky little panderings. That's very, very kind of you. Right, let me do these ones from Honda Dino. That's super kind. The first one, I don't want to call any of these people out in case they are lurking. Second, third, fourth, oop, and I missed one. Yeah, there we go. And fifth. I haven't seen any of those people chat in stream yet, so I will not call them out. But I have inscribed those names upon the Mirror of Fame. By having their names upon the Mirror of Fame, it means to get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, as I have just discussed. It doesn't exist anymore. And the most important... Oh, you also get access to all the sexy lady emotes and a discount on the merch store, which I always forget to tell people about. But the most important thing, as we've discussed in the past... Caro, you beautiful being, thank you very much for 220. The most important thing is you got to roll over every morning, look in the mirror and go, God, do I look rough? God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow, you know? That's really kind of you, Caro. Thank you so much for that as well. And also, Astacon, you beautiful bean. Thank you, my little slut goblin. Oh, lordy, haven't been called a slut goblin in a while.
Panda to it.
Poke and touch.
Stop poke. No. Listen here, you. No. Friends, if you are new here, if you do not know the dynamics of Twitch, if you are new to the realms of this platform, what is happening right now is a hype train, which in this community, as this community are well aware, we treat a hype train like an impromptu erection. God damn it. We treat a hype train like an impromptu erection. If you leave it alone, it will go away. Okay?
Panda to Mago. Panda to it. Panda to it.
Brat train choo-choo.
That requires you to leave it alone. That requires you to not touch the train. Stop touching the train. If you're not careful about touching the train, it will explode all over you. Okay? Ascon, thank you very much for giving us up to Bum Snapchat. God damn it.
Yeah, you subscribe.
And also, the Vampire Nick's coming in with a brand new tier 1 sub, letting the corruption settle in very nicely. It's got a hold of you now, Vampire Nick's. Good lord, good lord. Thank you very much for being a brand new tier 1 subscriber. Takes us that one step closer to the 60-40 split for August, you beautiful bean. Those names have been inscribed upon the mirror vein. By having your names upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat. Oh, one of them was bum Snapchat, wasn't it? That's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. Socks on sideways.
Panda to Mago. Panda to it. Panda to it.
I didn't touch the train.
You can't say that while pandering to the train, Scar. You can't. That's like turning around and touching somebody's willy with consent, their little willy wonky, and then being like, "I'm not touching it." That's not the way it works. You can't poke someone right up the sphincter and say it wasn't me when your finger's still up there, okay? You can't do that. You can't do that. Gosh darn it, all right? Gosh darn it. Socks on sideways. What is wrong with you?
Fourth carriage connected.
Four? Socks on sideways and then soggy sock sandwich. God damn it.
Panda to Mago. Panda to it. Panda to it.
I am definitely touching the train. Poke poke.
I can see that. I can see that, Fire.
Yeah, you subscribed. Most kind. Panda to Mago.
Ascon giving us up to finger shrinkers.
I
Oh my
heard there will
god.
be a shower at the end, Yippee.
There'll be an explosion if we're not careful. Fingers sphincters.
Yeah, you
Wow.
subscribed.
Wow.
Most kind.
Razota giving us up to air fryer penetrator. Oh my god. What, why?
Panda to
Why?
Mago. Panda to it. Panda to it.
Boom.
Boom! Well, that's what you get, all right? Now you're covered in God knows what kind of goo, okay? A shower, explosion, or eruption. All of the above. All of the above. Penetrator. I have inscribed all of those names on the mirror vein. By having their name on the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devils. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? Good Lord, Ascon, thank you very much for sneaking in that 59 there as well. Scar, thank you very much for the 100 little panderings. Ladies and gentlemen, all genders outside and between, bon moi has redeemed a praise the mods. Could you please throw some mod loves in the channel? Say a massive thank you to all those moderators, mods. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate all you do for me and this wonderful, wonderful community. That's very, very kind of you. Gosh darn it, Kelda, throwing little gifty goblins all over the screen like that. Outrageous, I tell you. Also, Bon Moi, come here, Jiggle. What do you like claiming cheeky kisses? Wolfie! Hello, you beautiful human being. Can I get a shout out for Wolfie, please? If I have a darling moderator available, I'd very much appreciate that. Very, very much appreciate that. I was trying to catch up with chat, but then you lot just got carried away, didn't you? That's what happened there. People, go check out my dear friend Wolfie, a wonderful member of the stream team that I am a part of, the Good Time Zone. They are spectacular. They do a whole load of cosplays. They play a large variety of very, very exciting games. Some of you may even recognize them from the wonderful world of TikTok. TikTok, because I know that some of you are have come over from TikTok, so maybe you've seen Wolfie on TikTok, but they are wonderful and spectacular. They deserve all of your love and attention. They are a very beautiful, very supportive, very wholesome and chaotic individual with some really cool outfits that they play games in. So yeah, you should go check them out. Go check them out. Go check them out. Also, they were a veteran as well, which is always something to be celebrated.
Panda to it. Panda to it.
You know, Vexatious Quip said, thank you very much for 100 little panderings. Friends, what the ever-living bejeebus? What in the name of Jesus crazy is going on here? It's a bloody Monday. It's a bloody Monday. Level 4 hype train on a bloody Monday? What? You're a bunch of wrong-uns. What is going on here? What is happening? Really? That was it. Manatees. That's where I was at. Made a big decision today. After too many years of dealing with bad therapists, I'm moving on to somewhere completely new. Wish me luck to find the right place. I hope you will find not only the right place, Becca Gone Betty, but the right place, the right therapist, and the right style of therapy, because those are the three things that will join together to create a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful scenario. You know, it'll be a tough scenario. Therapy is never fucking easy by any stretch of imagination, which is why I always find it to be very entertaining when people say that we're too strong for therapy. Oh, fuck off. Therapy is the strongest thing you can fucking do, because you battle with yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Bloody Monday.
It's a bloody Monday.
No, I think Monday Mayhem is more fun.
No Monday Mayhem. How very dare you? Excuse me. I've only had 23 cups of tea today. You don't think I'm ready for Monday Mayhem? Good Lord. Good Lord. How very dare you? Daytrain Gamer, welcome on in.
Panda to my ego. Panda to it. Panda to it.
Oh my Jeezy Crazy, it's a hype train. What did the cookies say to their psychiatrist? It's so easy for stress to crumble me.
Oh, it's weak. Oh, it's weak. It's weaker than a microwave tea, and that's fucking weak. God damn it. Eris telling me, thank you very much, 100 little panderings. Friends, if you have got hype train emotes, could you please throw them out now and say a massive, massive thank you to all those people that subbed, the gifted sub, that threw all those cheeky little bitties out there. It is extremely fucking kind of you, friends. Thank you so much. You spoil me. You spoil me, you little shits. You little shits, you. You collective bunch of brats. Choo-choo, mother badgers. There you go. There's a whole load. There's a whole load. Right, I'm gonna have to whip down a wee bit, but I'm gonna try and catch up. Pauls, how you doing? How's it going, you beautiful individual? Ascon, of course. Jam Jam Brain. Where, in fact, do you know what? That's how far I am behind. 24 minutes behind in chat, so I'm gonna whip down, do some scan reading bits and pieces, you know. Completely understand to have fun making a bus stop for Dragonborn holding a soft toy dino. I let chat dictate what I'm drawing. I love it. Love to see it. Odd socks are the way forward. Pause. Get out. Get out. How dare you? Of all of the things that you could say, that is a sin here. All right. Socks and sandals and how you should wear them if it makes you feel good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Socks and sandals and how you should wear them if it makes you feel good. If being the operative word in that entire sentence, all right? You're on about astrophysics and specifically the lifespan of black holes. Well, I have understood, Nibberin, that in regards, as per the laws of astrophysics, using the bylaw of quantum physics that is looped through using photon electrical clause 4, that a black hole has an infinite lifespan until such a point as an intergalactic transdimensional butt plug fills it. You can trust me. I'm a white man on the internet. I'm a white cisgendered man on the internet, and naturally we have all of the answers. Okay? Is that the law of attraction to all genders? To all genders. No, don't restrict us to 2, Bonmoir. Don't you be restricting us to 2. We are absolutely. The bylaw is being the law of attraction to all genders. Oh yeah, we will not be held down by mere numbers. All right. You need socks and sandals when you lost your big toenail. That makes sense. I mean, if you got an injury, that's different. Do you know what I mean? A cast for a broken bone is not exactly fashionable, but it is required for injury purposes. Do you know what I mean? Is unicorn a gender? It could be. I've definitely booked a unicorn on one of the cabarets that I run, so that's definitely a possibility for sure. For sure. Extra points for visible sock holders. God damn it. God damn it. Kind of struggle finding my clothes, if you know what I mean. I don't know what you mean. I have a massive fuck off wardrobe. My wardrobe's like Narnia, but Mr. Tumnus wears a harness. What do you mean you struggle finding your clothes? Do you have floor-drobes? Are you a person that sort of piles your clothes on the floor in a delightful pile, and then it's finding the clothes in amongst the pile that you... It's a floor-drobe, not a wardrobe, you know? She Halion, how you doing? How's it going? Changed my mind about socks and sandals or slides as I've gotten older. As a much younger goth metal band I've follow have all been spotted recently wearing socks and sandals too. Good for them. Good for them. I personally will never understand it. If that makes them feel good though, go for it. Go for it. Do you know what I mean? Jenna Leo, welcome on. How you doing? How's it going? I'm a Lord of the Lost fan and noticed that Chris Hams wears socks and slides. Now I find it strangely sexy somehow. Oh, good lord. I'm a Lord of the Lost fan. That will not change my opinion on socks and Crocs or whatever. 25 years since I heard about Moons and Bill. Not Mills and Boone. Moons and Bill. Yeah. Last time I recall it from an Aid Edmondson book. Yeah. Ika Denis, how you doing, you beautiful individual? Just going to take a bubble shower from work. Do it. Indulge yourself for sure. In my opinion, the most popular books might be disappointment because if you ask for internet for a deep cut horror, the internet will recommend Stephen King. Same with smut. The definition of a bestseller is a book for people who do not enjoy reading. But I'm being a bit snooty here. Maybe, Qualia, maybe. But the only way I can find out is by trying, you know? I know nothing about smut other than the smut that I have personally written. Other than that, I really know nothing about smut. So I couldn't say what is good and what is bad. What I will say is I specifically asked for stuff that wasn't cheesy. That wasn't cringeworthy. But then I'm also aware of the fact that a lot of people on the internet don't listen to what I'm saying. Or they listen to half the video and then place a comment and I'm like, okay. Dahlia, how you going? How's it going? Love fish, but the filters are always too noisy. Is there a quiet one? Depends on the type of fish. Pause. Depends on the type of fish. This one is the one I've got in this tank is pretty quiet. At the moment, you can hear it trickling because of the heat recently, the water level has dropped, and I haven't like topped it back up yet because tomorrow is the day where I do a water change for that tank. But when the water is at the right level, you barely hear it. You barely hear it. Do not self-censor. Self-censoring only helps the oppressors and the fascists. Agreed. The only time that I will self-censor is when it's to do with algorithms and what I have to say is important. I very specifically did a piece on... I very specifically did a piece on when... Do you remember on my birthday when I got a little bit drunk and we ended... I personally had got a marker in my head where I was like, if people donate more than X amount, then I'm going to donate £300 to the Survivors Trust, who help the survivors of rape and sexual abuse. We did that, And then I was going to talk about it when I did my little videos on all of the other social medias, and I did not censor the word rape, and I didn't censor the word sexual abuse or sexual assault. I think I did SA at one point, but that is because it is really, really, really important that when talking about those specific topics, we don't fucking censor ourselves. It's too important a topic to do so. When I'm talking about whimsical facts about sex, it doesn't really fucking matter. I don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Because my whimsical vocabulary will push me in the algorithms, and people still understand what I mean. Whereas when it comes to important topics like suicide, like death, like sexual assault and rape and assault in general, like all of those things, it's really, really important. I find it personally very, very important that we do not censor ourselves, because that backs up this sort of subconscious dynamic that they're not that important, and they fucking are. They really fucking are, you know. I bet if it's once learned the hard way not to put another fish in there with it. Oh god, no. Oh Jesus, no. They are specifically designed to be solo creatures. Hestia, how you doing? How's it going? Alis Zani, you cheeky devil. It's freaking weird. Proper medical terminology should never be censored. Agreed, but it is. And the reason why, Loki the Khajiit, is because of the fact that the people who are causing these censors are advertisers. It's got fuck all to do with the people. It's even got fuck all to do with the platform. But I don't think the platform generally gives a fuck. However, the advertisers that are paying the platforms want to make sure that their products aren't associated with certain things. And one of those things is sex education. They do not want to be associated with sex education. As a result, anything to do with discussing sex is a no-no. Is a no-no. They will use sex to sell their products. Oh god, yeah. But they will actively stay away from anything to do with sex as a whole. You know? Right, I'm going to whip down a wee bit, friends, because I am so fucking far behind in chat. If I've missed something vitally important, by all means, copy and paste it into stream. You are very, very welcome to do so. Thank you to the people that are subscribing over on the YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate that. By the way, friends, speaking of, I'm going to do a self-promo here that I am really bad at. It's raining chat like probably. I've waited for this moment for months. Yay! Congratulations, Can't Give a Duck. Also, I missed your thing because there was an accidental full stop in there. Don't want to brag, chat. It's raining. Yeah, fantastic. Love to see it. Can't Give a Duck. Love to see it. Friends, we are 500 hours away from hitting YouTube partner on the VODs channel. This is something that I never thought that I would see in my lifetime. I never, ever, ever considered that people would be that interested in my VODs to ever get to a point where I could, in any way, make ad revenue from the VODs channel. This has blown my little fucking mind. So a massive, massive thank you to all those people. If you are watching this VOD on that channel, a massive thank you to you as well, you beautiful beings. I very, 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 very much appreciate it. Like I said, I'm only like 500 hours away. And if we can get the full YouTube partner before February 2027, it means I don't have to get 8,000 hours instead of 4,000 hours. So, yeah, a massive thank you to all of you beautiful beings for being a part of that. A massive thank you to all you people who have been watching my VODs or sticking me on in the background while you do some work when I'm not actually live and stuff like that. I very, very, very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate you beautiful beings. It means the world to me. It really does help me out. Because even though like my VODs viewership means that I'm likely going to get like a few pence every VOD or what have you, that will still be a few pence more in my pocket. That will help me out. So genuinely, thank you so much. It means the world. It really does mean the world. So yeah, thanks for that. I want to play with the curly hair. So pretty. Get off my hair. I love my curly hair, I have to say. I'll back into just to subscribe. Got to go back to work. No worries, Vampire Nix. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Emma Dragon Queen, how you doing? And Prince Ali, how you the hell are you, cheeky devil? Sweet Mini Wolf, how you doing? How's it going? Didn't know until recently there was such an intriguing creature in my local vicinity. Well, what can I say? What can I say, Kelderspire? Sometimes it be like that, you know? Yeah, no. Need more tea? I definitely have had an overwhelming consumption of tea today. Today was the first day that it has been cool enough for me to have a bit of a lie-in. I woke up at like 10:15. Right, normally, friends, because it's been so fucking hot, I have been staying awake till 3, maybe 4 in the morning, because that is where the temperatures are coolest, and that is when my brain wakes up and goes, hey Val, now's time like for you to be awake and you can be working, you can be doing bits and pieces. So I'm like, no, fuck you, brain. But the problem is that as soon as the sun rises onto my windows, and I immediately cook and wake up in a swamp of my own Ming, which is quite grim, I have to say, but it does mean that I'm getting on average like 4 hours sleep a night because of the rain, because of the delightful foggy minginess that is the current weather today. It meant that today I was able to sleep in, so I went to bed at like 2:30, or went to sleep at like 2:30, 3ish, and slept through to like 10:15, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I've actually had like a full night's sleep. What the actual fuck? What's happening? What is occurring here, you know? Yeah, now, are socks matching if they are made of the same material and both are dirty? No, they have to be the same color, Zabadian. They have to be the same color. Gosh darn it. Wasn't listening and heard butt plug. We were talking about astrophysics, Loki. You know, the standard things. We are many. How's it going, Robinson Crusoe? Hello, you beautiful bean. Shouldn't the pan law be the law of attraction to all genders? By law, it clearly states 2 in the name. No. Bisexuality. The term bisexuality. Ooh, here we go. Here's some education. The term bisexuality was coined when general society believed there were only 2 genders. When they believed there was male and female. Now, as we have understood that gender is far more complex, it means that generally bisexuality now includes your own gender and genders that are not you. So me, as a bisexual cisgender man, I am attracted to cisgender men and people that are not cisgender men. Okay? Sexucation, exactly. That is the new differentiation of bisexuality, with our understanding that the gender is a more complex social conditioning than we have actually been given credit for. Do you know what I mean? In regards to pansexuality is where you are attracted to the person, not the gender themselves. You are attracted to their personality. You are attracted to them as a human being, their actions, the way they think, the way that they treat people, etc. You are attracted to them as a human being, not what they have in their pants, not the gender they identify themselves as, not the gender they were born as. You know what I mean? None of these dynamics, you know? Kind of like bilingual. Yeah, Zabadi, and that's actually a fucking great way of putting it. Very much like linguistics in regards to bilingual. If you say you are bilingual, it does not mean you speak 2 languages. It means you speak your own language and other languages. Or a language or another. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Not sure what happened there, but thank you, mods. That's the law of pandering. Oh my lordy. Like cooking, but not much. Alright, okay. Cool. Thank you very much, mods. You got an epic flawed robe. Love to see it. Love to see it. Remember when you wore all your clothes in your birthday live? No, I don't. There are many dynamics of my birthday that I have very little recollection of, I have to say. Flawed robe reporting in. I can't do it. If something stays on the floor, I immediately think it's dirty. If I'm like organizing stuff and stuff's in like folded piles, like piles of folded things, then I'm all right. But if it's like been on the floor for a day, it's obviously dirty. Because I can't remember whether it's clean or not, basically. I have to leave for today. And by the way, another Naraya, pronounced like ear in T. Thanks for your patience. Naria. T. I is pronounced like the E and T. Okay, Naria. Yeah, got you. Thank you very much, you beautiful being. I appreciate that. Have a wonderful day, whatever it is you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing. And thank you very much for keeping me informed. I appreciate it. How's it going, Mayor Wi-Fi? How you doing, you beautiful being? Not the floor, but the shelf drobe and the chair drobe. I definitely at one stage wanted a wingback chair purely to put clothing on. I have to say. Got a Narnia wardrobe. I'm sad that I have just a boring drawers and a basket. I have drawers, chests, crates. And then like this house has 3 bedrooms, one for me, one for Chunk, and one for the wardrobe. Which is why I say I have a wardrobe of Narnia. In there, I have 2 bookshelves full of clothing. I have a set of shelves full of clothing, and I have a twin rack that is full of clothing. And Chunk has his rack of clothing in there as well. And then I have a chest of drawers in my own bedroom that's also full of clothing. Yeah, I have a lot of clothes. And I've been going through it to get rid of some as well, which is wild, you know? Which is wild. Bedrobe sometimes. Oh no. I don't like sleeping with things on my bed. I don't mind putting things on my bed while I'm moving stuff around or what have you, or organizing or tidying up or what have you, but I can't sleep with something. Like if I had a pile of clothing at the end of the bed, I would need to move the clothing before I go to sleep. Personal things, you know? Kiara Strings, how you doing, Cheeky Devil? You need to send me your smut immediately. You wrote smut? I did write smut once upon a time. Once upon a time. I'd have to find it again, to be honest with you. But I did write it once upon a time, for sure. I always wrote it for people back in the day. So I'd always write it from a second person point of view, which people always found very, very weird. But I was like, if I'm writing it for people, then they can't understand. I will never be able to understand exactly what they're feeling. So there's no point in me saying I. It's better to say you. I was like 20. I was like 20. Currently wearing a fetching luminous orange compression sock after falling off Druid's altar as well. Oh my lordy. Ladies and gentlemen, all gents outside between, delve deep into your bits of popcorn and throw them at the raiders, throw them at these cheeky devils. Look at these people coming in here. I mean, really, could you even imagine who do they think they are? The absolute audacity, the scandal, the preposterousness, the outrage. How very dare they? Good lord. Renria the Fae coming in the middle of our adverts as well. I hope that you haven't been caught up with adverts, friends. I hope you haven't been caught up with adverts, but thank you so much for bringing your people in here. What were you up to? Tell me all about it. Tell me all the bits and pieces, Cheeky Devil. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. Friends, if you are new here, 2 things you need to know about this channel. 1, you're not allowed to apologize. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of saying sorry, I'm such a burden, say thanks for being there for me. It'll make you a much more positive individual. 2, if you're under the age of 18, I have to ask you to leave. I've got to ask you to leave, for I am a colossal filth wizard and only corrupting the ears of the young. People go check out Renria the Fae. They've been doing a lot of studies and co-working bits and pieces recently. What was it that you were working on today? What was going on? Were you working on some more VODs, some more content creation bits and pieces? Go and check them out. They're wonderful. They're very supportive. They've got a very open and communicative, and welcoming community. Yeah, they're really nice over there. Really nice over there. Pops over a couple of times, and I always enjoy the vibe that you've got going on there. Catching up on your Guild Wars 2 VODs. Very good, very good. Is it one of those scenarios, Renria, where you enjoy having the co-working streams because it's kind of like body doubling? You know, where you're like, okay, I'm going to do these things because it was within, like, it's helping me stay accountable for the things that I need to do, that kind of thing? Or is it just a case of, like, you've got a community that really enjoy that kind of environment? It helps, yeah. Body doubling, entirely fair. Entirely fair. I know a lot of streamers that do it, but they're like, right, we're doing the code things because I've got shit I need to do and I have no accountability for myself. So I need to have somebody there to just help me along with it. For sure. For sure. Absolutely. Kelda Spire, I'm good to hear about the need for the compression sock, but as I frequently said, when it comes to health trumps fashion every single time. I run, for those people that don't know, I run a big fetish cabaret. I run an erotic cabaret called Ken. It stands for Kinky Erotic Nature. It is a massive event that happens every year, and in fact in 2027 we're making it even fucking bigger. We've done it for 10 years. It's been a very, very long time. Every single time that we do an event, I get 1 or 2 messages, just a couple of little messages, because we will release the dress code. We'll talk about the fact that we don't want people in street clothing because we want everyone to dress up and make themselves feel sexy. We want people to feel sexy when they're not around people that are wearing street clothing. Do you know what I mean? If somebody's wearing lingerie and somebody's wearing jeans and a t-shirt, the person in lingerie is going to feel really self-conscious, and we don't fucking want that. So people can have like uniforms or latex or lace or fucking bondage gear, or come completely fucking naked, but we do recommend some description of shoes. They can come whatever they fucking want, as long as it is something that is evident they've made an effort. And you wouldn't be allowed, would you be allowed PJs? I suppose you would, because that's when we get into like people who are littles. Because we've always had an issue with littles, not like we don't kink shame by any stretch of imagination. But we've always had an issue with littles in the regards that a little's outfit in certain dynamics could be seen as streetwear. Like if a little is wearing like a little pair of like dungaree shorts and like a unicorn t-shirt or what have you, it's like that could be. So I suppose technically, depending on the PJs, they could be. Possibly. Love that pause. Possibly. That being said, we have an aversion to like cotton. Yeah. So it's all about making an effort, effectively. It's all about making an effort to feel sexy, effectively. But there's always been a couple of people that have messaged through, that have sent a message being like, hey, I have got these things, but I have a disability that affects my movement or my mobility. Is it okay to wear trainers? And we always say, if it's possible for you to wear black trainers, then we would prefer that. However, we'll always prioritize people's accessibility over the fashion requirements. You know what I mean? So if somebody needs to wear a pair of trainers, but is wearing like a slinky black dress or wearing lingerie and stuff like that, that is entirely fine, because their trainers, their accessibility needs are more important than making themselves look pretty and constantly be in fucking pain. Do you know what I mean? So that is the reason why we do it. That is the reason why we do it. Can't remember why I brought that up, but yeah, it was a whole thing. Valen, guess what? What is it, One True Gribble? I don't know whether you're still here, you beautiful Indo. Oh, you're going home from hospital today. Congratulations! I hope you're still here, OTC. I hope you're still here, you beautiful bean. How's it going, Midgejiggle? You beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bean. I knew you were in hospital. I'm really glad to hear that you are actually going home today. I was in Chunk stream earlier when you mentioned that you were in hospital, but I'm really glad to hear that you're heading home, buddy. Really glad to hear that you're heading home. You still be, I mean, you haven't eaten anything. Renria, go. Thank you so much for bringing your beautiful people in here. Come here, cheeky devil. Claiming a cheeky kiss as well. Go forth, get some snaffly treats. Thank you so much for bringing your people in. It means the world to me. That's very, very kind of you. Very kind of you indeed. It's almost impossible to find smut that doesn't have cringe dialogue. That is the challenge that I've put to myself, Jenna the Leo. That is the challenge I have put to myself, is finding smut that isn't cringeworthy. It was a high ask why I hadn't suggested any books, because I couldn't think of ones that didn't fit what you wanted. I myself didn't like it. I thought it was cringe. I'm not a massive fan of I do not like to cringe as a person, as a human being. I do not enjoy cringing. So that is always a prerequisite. It's like, am I going to cringe? Is it going to be cheesy enough that I'm like, then I'm out. Do you know what I mean? Generally speaking, you know. Hot Tub Molly, welcome on in. How you doing, you beautiful individual? Hopefully by the time this gets read, I have food in hand and ready to eat. I hope you've already eaten by the time I've read that out, Felly. Can't give a duck. How you doing, you beautiful individual? Phantom Zandria, hello, you cheeky little devil. When's the next Dracula reading? We don't know yet. Until the current donation goal is complete, Becca Gone Batty, which it is 2/3 of the way through, thereabouts. We have got an extra stream on Friday, this Friday coming at 7 p.m. BST, that's 7 p.m. British time, where we will be we'll be doing the Labyrinth roleplay stream, where we'll be doing chapter 3 of the Labyrinth roleplay stream, where the chat are the character and I am the Goblin King, and they will be entering the lands of Yore, which is the Bog of Eternal Stench, the Trash Heap Lady. Who knows? You may even meet Sir Didymus. Depends actually entirely on where you go. Depends entirely on where you go, you know? So yes. Elated to answer your question. So good to be here. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. So that'll be happening as an extra stream on Friday, 7 p.m. BST. As for the Dracula reading stream, that entirely depends on when the next donation goal is complete. Once that donation goal is complete, and it could take a couple of... Excuse me, it could take a couple of weeks. It could take a couple of months. It could even take a year. However, that is what is currently available for offer. And then when that is booked in, I will look at the diary and see when we can book in the next Dracula stream, the next Dracula audiobook stream. You know, you find me on YouTube before coming here. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Welcome on in. How's it going? Just crocheting. Enjoy your crochet for sure. One True Cripple highlighting your message, and I still have only just seen it. You may have missed it, but I'm getting discharged from the hospital today. OTC, you are here. Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that, friend. So fucking glad to hear that. Welcome on in, you beautiful individual. But yeah, I'm glad that you're getting home. Make sure that you're all cozy, and when you get home, are able to have a wonderful time with your nesting partner. You know, it's just great. It's great to hear. It's great to fucking hear. I've been so busy, I've been out of touch, but I did see that you're in hospital, so I'm really glad that you are able to get home. It's a Boolean callback. What if they have chocolate in their pockets? I could still want what's in their pants. That is true. That is true. I do like chocolate. It's very true. Polyglot is the way used for many languages. It can be, yes. The amount of times that I've seen somebody who speaks multiple languages describe themselves as bilingual or multilingual, the amount of times I've heard is quite significant. The amount of times I've heard anybody described as a polyglot is quite minimal. Quite minimal, it has to be said. And I mean, it might be the correct term. I'm not denying the fact that it's the correct term. I am saying that it doesn't get used very often. So bi-weekly is more than 2 weeks as well, or more than 2 times per week. Yes. In my experience, bi-weekly is either every 2 weeks or twice in 1 week. But also, let's please be aware before we start breaking down language that first of all, language is very complicated. Second of all, it is constantly evolving. And third of all, there will be entirely situations that work for some things and don't work for others. And let's not be pedantic pricks about it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are by any stretch of imagination. I just have seen this conversation happen where it's like, oh, well, this then. Oh, well, this then. Oh, well, this then. And that's going to piss me off really fucking quickly. So let's not go down that route. You know? You know? Let's just be careful about not going down the route of being extremely pedantic, because I don't have the patience for it. It's already pissed you off, but I guess like that's alright. I'm whipping through or scanning as quickly as possible. Oh, right, okay. A bed rub.
Major Jiggle is being far too kind.
Major Jiggle! Can we get some egos in chat? Say a massive thank you to Major Jiggle, please. That is very, very kind of you, beautiful, for being donating towards the donation goal. Actually, do you know what? I haven't actually updated the donation goal to say that it contains that. File. Edit. The reward is no longer TBD. It is a Dracula audio book stream. Ooh, with 2 T's, Valen. Jesus Christ. Save changes. We need more Dracula, Valen, for science. You want me to talk like this? I think. For science, yeah. Find my smut and read it live. Becca Gombatti, I can tell you right now, if I read my own smut live on stream, I would be banned. Permanently. Can guarantee it. Watched 2 movies today, Borderline and Ick. Never heard of either of those Kiara strings, but I hope that you enjoyed yourselves. You enjoyed yourself, should I say. Gotta find my smut. It was on a laptop and still catching me off guard where I remember because of how filthy I made it. Love to hear it. And Lunagon, thank you very much for gigantifying those emotes. That is very, very, very kind of you, you beautiful bean. Love second person, you fiction. Actually, when second person has a function, it really works. That would be a pretty good reason. Yeah, I feel like it's quite good, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, all gents outside, to delve deep into your bits of popcorn and throw them at the Raiders, throw them at these cheeky devils. Look at these people going here. I mean, really, could you even imagine who do they think they are? The absolute audacity, the scandal, the preposterousness, the outrage. I tell you, good lord. Good lord. It's Pixbomb. The Unseelies have seen me. I'm not surprised. They're always peering in my windows. But then I do have the curtains open when I'm getting changed and, you know, furiously masturbating. So I can only say that I encourage it a little bit, you know? Welcome on in, Pixbomb. How you doing, beautiful bean? What were you up to today? Doing some more... Wait, hold on. Elden Ring today. I thought I saw you playing something else. Were you playing something else earlier? Were you playing something else earlier and changed over to Elden Ring, or you're always playing Elden Ring and I'm just confused? One of the two. Either way, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful time. Friends, if you're new here, 2 things you need to know about this channel. 1, you're not allowed to apologize. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of saying sorry, I'm such a burden, say thanks for being there for me. It'll make you a much more positive individual. 2, if you're under the age of 18, I have to ask you to leave. I've got to ask you to leave, for I am a colossal filth wizard, and I don't be corrupting the ears of the young. Not what I'm about. It's not what I'm about. No. People go check out Pixbomb. Pixbomb is a crafter extraordinaire, a crocheter, a hooker. In the regards that they do crocheting and knitting and bits and pieces. They also do a load of games, as you can see. Cyberpunk 2077, Elden Ring, and they're doing a whole load of stuff with Jam Jar Brain as well on Wednesdays and Fridays, if I remember correctly. Wednesdays and Fridays, if I remember correctly, in regards to their co-streams together. So yeah, they're wonderful and glorious, and you go throw some love at them for sure. For sure. Proud hooker, glad to hear it. I'm behind in chat, but I'm trying to catch up a little bit. Wait a minute. Just catching up, bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah, thank you very much, Sambar. Yeah, that is a really good point, though. For people that have just raided in, there was we were talking about bisexuality, and there was some genuine, just light-hearted jests around, so bisexual is the 2 genders, not 1 gender and every other gender. There was some conversation around like bi-weekly, and it was evidently one of those dynamics. But it does need to be said that as much as I know that everyone in this community is just doing it for jests and just doing it for japes, I am also aware of the fact that the homophobes and the TERFs and the people who are transphobic that are out there are desperately trying to use bisexuality in particular to target trans people. And also, the more that we make jests and japes at stuff like bisexuality and the terminology around bisexuality, the more we diminish its importance. Unfortunately, even in the LGBTQIA, as somebody who is bisexual myself, within the LGBTQIA, bi erasure is what they call it. The erasure of bisexuality is a very, very, very common thing. You get straight people turning around and being like, oh, you're just going through a phase. You're just going through a phase. And you get gay people turning around and being like, oh, so you're not committed to actually being properly gay. It is a constant issue that we have. So if there is a scenario where people, I'm still scrolling through and stuff like that, but if people have come across in a defensive way, that is the reason why. It's not necessarily attack at you per se. It is because of the fact that, to be quite honest with you, we're quite tired of constantly having to defend the fact that we exist, in the same way that a lot of sexualities are quite tired. Do you know what I mean? As a bisexual man, I prefer to be allowed to exist. Outrage. Claudius, now, as much as I appreciate that you were being sarcastic there, can we just all remember that? Why is it not called multisexual? Because that would get very, very confusing. Also, bisexuality has always existed. And the more that we get into the semantics of things, the more one of the sarcasm does not translate through text. So yeah, please be careful with your sarcasm. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna turn around and say right now, until I say otherwise, don't be sarcastic, because this is a very, very sensitive topic. In fact, you know what? Let me do this. Serious topic. No, don't be sarcastic for the moment, all right, friends, because it is going to get misconstrued and you'll get banned, because I don't have the fucking patience for it, to be quite honest with you. I'm actually in a I have to be completely honest right now, friends. I was this close to cancelling my stream tonight because I was not in the fucking mood. I was not in the mood. And I was like, do you know what? No, press go live. It'll be all right. And it has been all right. It has been wonderful. You guys have absolutely made my life a lot happier. And I'm genuinely grateful for that. I'm genuinely grateful I did press go live. I'm genuinely grateful you've all turned up and what have you. Absolutely. But just because we're about to talk about something that is very close to my heart as a bisexual myself, I would appreciate no sarcasm until this screen is disappeared. Okay, so bi erasure is a very, very problematic thing, because it comes from many angles. We get attacked from the straight community because people think it's just a phase, or we're trying to impress somebody, or it's attention seeking, or we are a lot of it comes down to attention seeking side of things. Two, we get attacked from the gay side of things because they think that we're either not committed to being gay, or we are somehow dirty because we've had sex with somebody who isn't our own gender, or that we are trying to play it safe by being we're a homosexual person really, but we are getting with other genders because of the fact that we're trying to be able to have a way out in case it gets really heated. And on top of all of that, it feeds directly into the erasure of non-binary folks, gender non-conforming folks, and trans people, because it's like, oh, like Sembar said earlier, the TERFs, the trans exclusionary people, the transphobic people, are using it as a way of being like, no, bisexual are attracted to men and women. They're not attracted to trans people. No, because trans people don't fucking exist like that, do they? No, they're just mentally unstable people, you know, like that kind of horrible prejudice rhetoric. And the complete erasure and ignoring of non-binary people entirely. So it's very important that we talk about bisexuality and how bisexuality has changed with the evolution of an understanding of gender, that it is the attraction to your own gender, in my case, cisgendered man, and other genders, people that are not cisgendered men. You could start breaking down the semantics, as Darkshade Agorath said, and be like, oh, well, why don't we call it multigender? But one of the major issues we have with that, just speaking from like a social political point of view, is the fact that the more that the more you break it down, the more you make it confusing, the more that you start changing things that isn't like a unanimous change across all fucking dynamics, the more you dilute the meaning, and it adds to the erasure. It adds to the erasure of that thing. It is much easier to break down, and instead of us putting all of our energies into standing up and being like, hey, we as the LGBTQIA deserve to fucking exist in all of our varieties, people are like, well, why aren't we calling it multisexual instead of bisexual? Why are we not? But bi means two, technically, so is that going to cause an issue? Maybe we should sit and discuss the semantics and come up with a universal. Fuck all of that. None of that fucking matters. None of that matters until we all have equality. Until the point where the pride parades are no longer necessary because non-straight people aren't getting beaten up in the street for existing. None of that shit matters. I personally, I say that I am a bisexual person because it's the easier thing to say. It's easier for me to say bisexual and have people understand that I am attracted to a variety of different people than it is to say, I fucking hate labels, I'm attracted to who I'm attracted to, and nothing else fucking matters. I genuinely don't like labels. I fucking hate labels. I think they trap us. I understand why they're there. I understand how it can help somebody explore themselves and start to learn about themselves and also not feel so alone. As somebody who has never really given a shit about feeling alone because I've never really fit in anyway, all of that dynamics just holds me back. As far as I'm concerned, it holds me back. I personally feel that who I am attracted to, like, for example, a heterosexual person is not attracted to every single, like a heterosexual man is not attracted to every single woman he ever sees. He is attracted to specific women. A homosexual man is not attracted to every single man that he's ever seen. He is attracted to specific men. Technically speaking, we are all pansexual in some way, shape, or form. Because we are attracted to specific individuals. Maybe that is within a specific type of gender, but that is by and by. I fucking hate labels because I think that they personally restrict us. However, in this day and age, in a point where people are completely ignorant and willfully ignorant, I think that it is really, really important that we have those labels in order for people to learn about themselves, explore themselves, and not feel alone. The more that we start breaking down semantics, the more we start taking the piss, especially when it comes to bisexuality. And I fully understand that nobody here who was being a little bit sarcastic before or adding the japes and the jests and bits and pieces, none of you were being offensive. I understand that. None of you were being offensive. None of you were being antagonistic. None of you were being hateful in any fucking way. I fully understand that. That doesn't stop the fact that we hear it all the time. We hear it all the time, and it gets tiresome. It gets really, really tiresome. So, for everybody's understanding, bisexual means attraction to oneself, to the gender that you are, in my case, cisgender man, and a sexual attraction to genders that are not your own. So, attraction to the gender that I am, cisgender man, attraction to other genders. That could be women, trans men, non-binary people, gender void people, gender non-conforming people, whatever the dynamic. It could be one of those, it could be multiple of those, it could be a variety of different dynamics there, you know? Whatever the scenario. And it also can be different person to person. Like, in my personal opinion, if somebody is attracted to women and cisgender women and trans women, I would call them heterosexual. if a man is attracted to if a cisgender man is attracted to cisgender women and trans women, I would call them heterosexual because they're attracted to women. You know? That being said, I understand that some trans people don't like to be referred to in that way. I understand that some people don't like to see it in that dynamic. And I will leave that entirely up to those individual people, you know? That being said, we need to be very, very careful, especially when it comes to bisexuality, because bi erasure is a very real problem because we get attacked from all sides for being greedy, for being selfish, for playing it safe, for not standing with the LGBTQIA, for standing with the LGBTQIA. We get attacked on all sides. So it is very, very, very important that we be very careful about that. And again, much love to to everybody in the chat. I know that everyone was just being jovial, but we've got to be very careful about stuff like that. Does that make sense? Everyone on board? By solidarity in communities, yeah, asexuality is another one that gets completely erased for sure. All right, we'll pop back over here. Thank you very much for listening to that chat, chums. I really appreciate the thought, you know. Already got your outfit for next year. Ready from Zeus because the flats from last year, my ankles were pissed, which is fair, which is absolutely fair for sure. Shopping for Ken is exciting. Oh, I love this. This up with his shorts. Sometimes I want to be lazy. For pajamas, I sleep naked. I've got no qualms. I've got no qualms. If I'm cold, I might wear a pair of boxer shorts. It's not very often, though. Not very often. Really want to attend next Ken, but haven't been confident on what outfit to wear. Would hate to be turned away at the door since acquired an outfit through a late night circus swap. Entirely fair, Bonmoir. Well, you are welcome when it comes closer to the time, Bonmoir. If you're still uncertain when it's closer to time, we definitely have it open where people can email us. You can email us a picture of your outfit and be like, hey, can I just check that this falls in line with the dress code? And we'll tell you yes or no. Depending on who it is and depending on how busy they are, they may even give you a little advice on how to change it a little in order to make it appropriate, you know? It's alright, Netties. It's okay. We're just being very, very careful about stuff like that. Especially at the moment because I am irritable. I am personally irritable. Been trying really hard to get a job with the main reasoning that I want the money to afford to come to Ken, yeah? Well, no, I'm not going to talk about it. Not going to talk about it yet. But all I'll say is that next year is going to be bigger. We've already planned the most of it. Next year is going to be bigger. Bigger and better. What I'll say is don't book hotels or travel until the full announcement. You want to buy the ticket and you've got the link to the ticket, which is currently only available to guests that came last year, then you can do that. But I would say don't book hotels or travel until you know what we're doing with it. See you later, Zavadi, and you take it easy, you beautiful being. Thanks very much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Yeah. Removed my passport for it. I have the friend in Manchester told about it, and I'm gonna go to a cabaret in Manchester if there is one open. Then we'll go to Ken, whatever stream meetup. I want to meet everyone. There's usually a stream meetup the day after Ken, but like I said, things are going to be a bit different next year, so it really depends. And I will leave the stream meetup to the people that organize the stream meetup, because that is usually nothing to do with me. Really want to attend Ken, but I haven't. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. You're welcome to do that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good statement to share to everybody, really, is the fact that we have to be careful generally, that especially when it comes to sarcasm, because people can get my sarcasm and tone of voice and visual expressions and body language, but a lot of you are a name and the words you say. And sometimes, especially if like I don't know you very well, or members of the community don't know each other very well, or what have you, something said in sarcasm can come across as just being rude, you know? I always try and assume people are being sarcastic, but that doesn't work for everybody. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't work for everybody. More stakes up people would be nice. Feels less awkward. What? You felt awkward? I'm good to hear that, Eris. I'm good to hear that. My friends from Manchester say our accents are hot, so that helps. Always good. Always good. Elated to answer your question. Good to be here. Good to have you here. Absolutely hot tub Molly for sure. Not the bug of eternal stench, exactly. Pixel Jules highlighting a message. Are you still here, Pixel Jules? Just before I read your highlighted message. Can't wait to eat good food and not be stuck here. Fully understandable. I'm going to have a vegetarian fajita after the stream tonight, which I'm looking forward to. Depending on the level of erotica the books need to be, I've read an excellent book, or rather listened to as an audiobook, named Jester by Natalia Jasta. Great story and very steamy. So they have the VA for both female and male characters. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Out of interest, Pixel Jules, if you're still here, what system? You are here. Woo! Where did you listen to it? As an audiobook? Because I've been seeing a few different ones pop up. People have talked before about what's it called? Quinn? But as I understand it, Quinn is more like a role play thing. Not so much an audiobook scenario. There's been a couple of others people have mentioned, but my mind's gooey. My mind's gooey. Okay, so I have a question because I don't want to ask an AI. I'm glad to hear it. By the way, friends, I would like to... The Little Black Dress, I will answer your question momentarily, but you've just reminded me of something. Twitch have rolled out generative AI. They have automatically opted everyone in to generative AI. And when I say generative AI, they opted everyone in that our streams, our voices, our chats, everything that we put into the channel is to be used to train their AI models. Thank you very much, Semba. If you would like to turn it off, if you go to that link that that Semba's just put in there, twitch.tv/settings/security, then scroll down to privacy until you see the toggle for training for generative AI and turn it off. Even if you don't stream, turn it off. Yes, 100%. Turn it off for as much as possible. Twitch themselves have admitted that the reason why they automatically put it as an opt-out as opposed to an opt-in is because they knew that if it was an opt-in, nobody would ever click it. But because it's an opt-out, it means it's automatically everyone's in until they say no. I know a lot of people do not keep up to date with Twitch bits and pieces, because why would you, especially if you're not a streamer? However, if you are a streamer, especially importantly, I will leave it up to you as to, like, some of you are well in for AI and stuff like that, and that is entirely up to you. What I will say is I would encourage, regardless of my opinions of AI, okay, regardless of my opinions of generative AI, etc., there is a legal clause in the Twitch contract that you should be aware of that should make you not want to have generative AI as an option on your streams. This is really fucking important, so pay attention. In fact, so much so that I am literally going to pause the music. Music, shut the fuck up. Okay. It is this. The Twitch have released training for generative AI models, which means that your stream, your voice, your aesthetic, your entire studio, your appearance, everything about you and all of your streams will be used to train generative AI. There is a very specific clause in the contracts for Twitch which say that Twitch is allowed to use your image, your sound, and your content as they see fit. Now, this was originally added to the contract so that they can feature your clips. Like Twitch on Twitter can feature your clips. They can feature your face when you are attending a convention like TwitchCon. They can put your links up and little clips of yours on their other social medias to feature you as a streamer on Twitch. That is what the clause was originally there for. However, it is now possible for Twitch to take your, if you are opted in to the AI content, it is now legally possible for Twitch, whether they would or wouldn't is by and by. The fact is, they are legally possible to use your content, use your image, use your voice, use everything about you and your stream, and create AI versions of you if you do not opt out of the generative AI situation on Twitch. That is the reason, regardless of whether you are pro AI or against AI, that is the reason why I would encourage everybody to turn it off. Regardless of whether you like it, I know many people use it for accessibility. I know many people use it for creativity. I am not here right now to debate that. What I am here, and I don't want that debate in chat. What I am here to do is to tell you what the recent changes in thingy. I've actually got the tag NoGenAI because I have opted out of it. I am here to tell you about the changes that Twitch have made, what Twitch have actively said about it, including the fact that Twitch have said they can't say for sure whether Amazon or Twitch have used any of our previous streams prior to, I think it was Friday, to train generative AI. And I'm also here to tell you about the legal warnings of the fact that that is a clause in their contract. Because that was a clause in their contract that I was really apprehensive about when I was signing up, being like, fuck off. I'm not sure I want you to be able to use my image without my permission. I was rest assured that it would only ever be used for like featuring us, you know? So, yeah, that is something that's very, very important. Something that I would encourage everybody to do, regardless of your opinions of AI. I would encourage everybody to turn it off, especially if you are a streamer, not regardless of AI, just purely for safety over your own content. Because like I said, legally, there is a loophole there that means that Twitch can technically use create AI content of your videos purely so that it can, well, not even purely, they can create AI content of your videos if you are still opted in. Purely through a loophole in their contract. I'm not saying they ever would. I'm saying that they have the possibility to. Take that and interpret it as you see fit. Okay? Now, I will go back to what Little Black Dress said earlier because they were asking me a question when I got distracted. So thank you very much for waiting, Little Black Dress. Are you still here, Little Black Dress? Perchance. Lurk Wager is a medium beautiful bean. No check mark, no purple highlight. Remembered to check today and popped in this time opt out. I appreciate it. Thank you. Just told the AI, generative AI to switch to fuck right off. Yeah, absolutely. As AI versions of you would certainly pay more. Would certainly pay anyone. I couldn't possibly say what they would. I can't say what other people would do with it as well. But there would be. I feel like there's a little too many loopholes legally for all of the bits and pieces, you know. Okay, the question that you asked, Little Black Dress, because I don't want to ask AI, thank you very much again for reminding me of that, because it's important that I remind everybody in the community. What if I'm only attracted to male-sexed individuals? Like, I'm not against and support everyone else's rights, but what I prefer is sex specific. I don't feel like I'm expressing this in a good, clear, effective way without expressing antagonistic, less vanning. I find myself tongue-tied. I know what you mean. You mean that sexually you are attracted to penises. I don't see any issue with that. You are not negating the fact that trans men are still men. You are not negating the fact that trans women are still women. You are just, when it comes to physical attractions, things that you personally have a personal preference towards, you prefer people with penises. Fully understandably. That is just, all that is a sexual preference. In the same way that some people have a sexual preference towards bald people. Some people have a sexual preference towards very, very thin people, or very, very large people. Very, very tall people, very, very small people. It is a sexual preference that you have. That's okay. That's all right. It is not diminishing the fact that trans men are still men. Not diminishing the fact that trans women are still women. Absolutely. By any stretch of the imagination. You know? That isn't an issue. Or I certainly don't, unless you are different, unless you are thinking, if in your mind you are thinking, oh, well, I couldn't be with a trans man because they don't have a penis, that's one thing. It's a different thing to be like, oh, I wouldn't be with a trans man because they're not real men. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Does the differentiation make sense to people there? Is anyone valinsexual? Good lord. Good lord. Of course you're all valinsexual. You're only human, you know? You know? Trans man here with the same preference, no judgment on anyone, just what I like. Yeah, exactly. Prince Ali, thank you very much for saying that as a person, as a trans man yourself. Because, yeah, absolutely. It's okay to have sexual preferences. In exactly the same way that some people like it when a person with a penis doesn't shave and they've got a massive fuck off bush. Some people like it when a vulva isn't shaved and they've got a massive fuck off bush. Some people like it when it's like just the Brazilian strip. They're all just personal preferences, you know, and that's okay. Is it phobic to say like cisgendered men sexually? I wouldn't call it phobic, but I wouldn't advise it, if that makes sense. I would say that you are attracted to men. It's an interesting one. You've put it to me now. If it was me and I was in your position, I would say I'm attracted to men. I'm attracted to men that have a penis, you know, or I am attracted to men and I prefer there to be a penis. If that makes sense. In fact, you know what? If we have any trans men in the community, I'm not the best person to ask because I'm a cisgender white man. If we have any trans men in the community, could you offer your opinions, please? With the understanding that this isn't meant to offend, this isn't meant to criticize in any way, shape, or form, or diminish you as men. We all completely agree that you are men and you have the right to be men, 110%. But just as a point of your advice to this situation, I would very, very much like your opinion. I would very much like your input, you know? Do you like body hair? Ooh. What, in regards to my sexual preferences? That would be telling, wouldn't it? That would be telling. Well, my friend, you have the face for radio and a voice for a silent movie. I wish you would keep that in mind more while streaming. Rude. Rude. I don't think I've ever seen a conversation about linguistics that hasn't been pedantic. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Professor Drunkenstein, welcome on in. How you doing? Welcome on in. Thank you very much for the 7 stream streak you've been streaking through here, all nakified, and also Racy Novel. How you doing, you beautiful individual? 15. Oh yeah, I'm not going to talk about the language anymore, because I think I've said all that needed to be said on that. I've started to think that having Valen talking in one ear and a political debate in the other was a mistake. I don't know. I get just as passionate about it, you know. Do I, Hestia, do I already know that there's a new fake profile of me on TikTok? Yeah. I have been informed of about 6 fake profiles of me on TikTok that have been messaging people. Every single time, all I can advise is that people report them. As soon as I find out about them, I go in and report them and say, this is me. They're faking. They're a fake profile of me. Nothing ever gets fucking done about it, but it is what it is. It is what it is, you know. I've never been sure whether I fit the Bai or the Pan clan. All I know is that love is love, and I love to get schmexy. Yeah, that's all you need on moi. That's what I do. I'm like, am I attracted to this person? Is this person attracted to me? Are we both consenting adults? Fucking A, let's do it. You know? The law when I said I was bi was so annoying. I realized I'm pan not. Yeah, it's easier to say bisexual than pansexual because more people understand bisexual than they do pansexual. But neither of them are invalid by any stretch of the imagination. How's it going, Greeto? Hello, you beautiful queen. Serious hat on? It certainly was for a minute there. I just like, you know me. You all know me. I like to take the moment to clarify what needs to be clarified. You know? You know, in time and apology is everyone you really mean it like that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dark Shadow Garth, how you, I don't think I actually said hello to you, so how you doing? Glad this was discussed today. I think I'm pan. No bye. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. In an ideal world, everybody would be pansexual. Because everybody would be attracted to the person as opposed to other different dynamics. But the world will never be ideal. Also, the Maya version of ideal is not everybody else's version of ideal, you know? Vanera, how you doing, you beautiful individual? Could you please give a shout out to Vanera, darling moderators? Darling moderators. I just want to check whether there was any input there. That's cool. People go check out Vanera. The almighty deity of the frog. They're wonderful and glorious. They're chaotic as shit. I've been hanging out there a bit recently. Been having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Prince Ali, thank you very much for coming in with your opinion there. You don't think there is a way to say it really without offending somebody? Yeah. I think that is a fair assessment. We've also got to remember that people have different views themselves. I think that by saying something along the lines of I am attracted to cisgendered men, or I am attracted to men that have penises, there is always going to be a sense of gender dysphoria, isn't it? I get confused between dysmorphia. Dysmorphia is about the visual side of things. Dysphoria is about the internal side of things, right? Yeah, I think so. I think it's gender dysphoria. There will always be a dynamic of gender dysphoria because if you said that to a trans man, for example, if you were there and you were hitting it off really, really well with a trans man and you're like, oh my God, everything's going fucking amazing. I fucking love you. Like, we're getting on very, very well. And then it was like, I really like you, but I'm attracted to men with penises. They're immediately going to feel insecure. They're going to immediately feel like they're not as good as a cisgender man. So I think it's tough, and I don't think there's any easy way around it. Thank you very much, Prince Ali, again for the input. you are entirely entitled to have your personal sexual preferences. That is 100% something that you are entitled to yourself. That doesn't mean that you are never going to offend somebody. And it doesn't mean that your personal preferences aren't going to upset somebody in some way, shape, or form. And that's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's difficult, it's tough. But I've met some people that I have got on with so fucking well. And there's just been such a wonderful, like, dynamic between us. But I just haven't had that sexual attraction to them. I think they're phenomenal human beings. I get on with them so fucking well. I just don't have that sexual attraction to them. You know? And that can be heartbreaking. That can be absolutely fucking heartbreaking. 110%. Because I don't want to fucking hurt them. They're amazing. You know? I just don't see them that way. And there's plenty of people. I know it's hard to believe. But there are plenty of people out there who do not find me sexually attractive. I know. The scandal, right? The outrageous. It's almost mind-blowing, you know? But it's true. There are lots and lots of people out there that just don't find me sexually attractive. And that can be heartbreaking as well. But I am
Missed kind.
a little bit more understanding. Do you know what I mean?
It didn't rain.
It didn't rain.
Thumbs down, Valent party.
How dare you? How dare you, Ruby True? You beautiful, beautiful human being. Can I also get a shout out for the wonderful Ruby True? Ruby True is a very, very, very good friend of mine who I love very dearly. If you are a person who enjoys meditative dynamics, zenness, calm places to be on the internet, along with a little sprinkling of chaos, little sprinkling of chaos here, there, and everywhere, and enjoy ASMR and sound baths and stuff like that, guided meditation, then you will enjoy Ruby True. Ruby True is a very, very good friend of mine who I've known for nearly the entire time I've been on Switch. The entire time I've been on Twitch. Ruby True, you beautiful bean. I very happily put your name upon the mirror of vein, you cheeky devil, coming in for the 62 months. Good lord. 7 months away from the cheeky number, you beautiful bean. By having your name upon the mirror of vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat. In fact, technically, it's a metaphorical Snapchat because I got sick of pornography bots. Typical. You also get access to all the sexy little emotes, and also you get access to a discount on the merch store. No pressure to buy anything, but it's there if you want it. But the most important thing as well, you know, after 62 months is you got to roll over every single morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? We got damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow, you know? Thank you very much for taking that one step closer to the 60-40 split by being a paid subscriber as well, Ruby. I hope you're well, friend. I hope you're well. Thank you very much, Sembar, for the shout out for Ruby. Day Trainer Gamer, I will be with you momentarily for your schmex question. Let me just catch up with chat a wee bit. So yeah, I think there's always the dynamic of there is always a risk of upsetting somebody. There's always when it comes to any dynamic of sexuality, romance, intimacy, those kinds of things, there is always a risk that you're going to upset people that are close to you. There's always a risk that you are going to offend people. But that being said, just because there is a risk doesn't mean that you have done anything wrong. You are allowed to have your sexual preferences. You are allowed to have your have things that you are desired to. You know what I mean? As long as they're not immoral all over the age of 18 and between consenting adults, then it's all fine and dandy. But just because somebody gets upset with your answer doesn't mean it's a wrong answer, if that makes sense. Oh, absolutely, Robinson Crusoe, 110%. 110%. She fucking knows. Tigger, how you doing, you beautiful individual? Spent many years identified as bisexual, so far too many experiences of exactly that from both straight. Yeah. I don't like how people feel the need to comment on a label they don't identify with to try and invalidate them. Do you know what that is though, Karma? That's insecurity. When there is a label that somebody then goes, well, that's obviously preposterous and what have you. It's like, you're insecure. There's no other answer for it. You're obviously insecure. Because otherwise you wouldn't feel the need to comment on the label. You know? How's it going, Painted Lady? How you doing? Ginger Lily, welcome on in. As an educator who helps with the school's ally group, this topic always gets really heated. Yeah. It always does. And it always will. It always will. Had sex with women, so I probably count as bi. I do not want to stereotype or fetishize bi men, but a few I have known have always been supportive of my sexuality and gender. I think there is a certain temperament and journey to be openly bi. So yeah, love for bi LGBTQ plus fan. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. There is as a bisexual man, there is a journey that we take. As a bisexual cis man, should I say, there is a journey that we take that creates an understanding and an empathy that is hard to replicate in. Well, it's not hard to replicate. It's something that I have definitely identified more in bisexual men than anyone else. But bisexual cis men than anyone else. I think, do you know what? It's probably the same for trans people as well. There's a journey that they take that creates a different level of empathy, usually, you know? Right, I'm gonna whip down a wee bit, friends, because I am so fucking far behind. Right, and then roll down to the bottom, then scroll up a wee bit. Okay, let's go with, oh, do you know what? I'll wait for the ads to finish, and then I will answer Daytrain Gamer's question. You know what I mean? You are chaotic. I am not chaotic, Vanera. I am the pinnacle of boring. I have the personality of the color beige. It is my chat that is chaotic. They can't help themselves. In respect to dysphoria, I have a link that may well help others. Do you want to stick it in the Discord, Pix? Do you want to stick it in the Discord? I'm sure you've probably put it in the Discord before, but you know. Oh, somebody's been threaded through to me. Thank you. Cool. I will stick it in the chat. If anybody has, I haven't checked this out, but Pix is a decent human being. So if you are interested, genderdysphoria.fyi/English or eng for English. There you go. It's there. I don't know what it is, but if they say it's good, then I assume it's good because we've had many conversations about topics like this. So I trust their judgment. Trust their judgment. I would rather let them know beforehand. I can understand that, little black dress. Absolutely. There is no scenario where that isn't going to be an awkward conversation, but it's better to have it sooner over later. Do you know what I mean? Prefacing... And that's where you don't even bring it up with someone that's the issue. It's not needed piece of information, and that's why. You can just tell them that you don't see them that way without making them feel like you're attacking. Do you know what? That's a really fucking good point, Prince Ali. That is a really fucking good point, friend. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. The way to deal with that situation is exactly as Prince Ali said, little black dress. If you are attracted to somebody, or if you are flirting with somebody and things are going a certain way and that person doesn't have a penis, you don't actually have to say, I don't want to be with you because you don't have a penis. You can just say, I don't see you in that way. If that makes sense. That's a really good point, Prince Ali. Genitalia doesn't actually need to be brought into the conversation. Once again, the patriarchy, the ingrained, this is what we mean when we say systemic misogyny, by the way, friends, or systemic patriarchy. This is the dynamic that we all have, including me. And I would say that I'm a very, very open-minded, very forward-thinking empathetic individual. Even I, as a sex educator, LGBTQI advocate, women's rights advocate, the whole dynamic, I am advocate of anybody that isn't a cisgender white man. I still thought of genitalia. When actually, it can just be a lot simpler of you're flirting with somebody, that person doesn't have a penis, you have a personal preference for penis, and you just say, I'm really complimented, but I actually don't see you in that way, I'm afraid. That way, exactly as Prince Ali says, it's not going to strike at the gender dysphoria. It's not going to be like, I really like you, but you don't have a cock, so fuck you. Like that, it doesn't have that dynamic. Do you know what I mean? You can just be like, actually, I just don't see you in that way. I'm complimented, but I don't see you in that way. You know? That's a really fucking good point, Prince Ali. And I very much appreciate that, because it calls out the systemic misogyny that I also have in my own brain. My own subconscious. Friends, I am a flawed human, as all of us are. And I am always grateful for discovering like things like this, because it helps me learn more about myself. Be upfront and honest, no one gets hurt that way. Well, I mean, they'll get less hurt that way. I wouldn't say nobody gets hurt, because I think it's different, but I think they'll get less hurt that way, you know? But yeah, massive thanks to Prince Ali for that. That's fucking excellent. On the other hand, it might be a little obvious if after all the flirting you get to the point of the conversation where they're telling you they're trans and you go, oh, I don't see you that way. Potentially. It depends. I mean, we are absolutely going into the realms of what if. And the realms of what if, there is always a wrong answer. Do you know what I mean? It depends on what the convo is doing, of course. Yeah, absolutely. It also depends on how you react to that scenario. It also depends on what kind of person you are. I'm a very naturally flirtatious person. I naturally flirt with fucking everybody. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm interested. It just means that I naturally flirt with them. If you go from flirting to sexual, it's a great place to close it off. Yeah. But I also understand what Mayor Whitefire means, Sembar, in the regards of everything's really flirty, and then they go, I'm a trans man, and they go, okay, cool, see you later, bye. Do you know what I mean? Like that whole sort of like ghosting them type thing. Obviously taking an extreme circumstance in this situation, you know, but that you can still be flirty, not sexual. Oh, 100%. So yeah, as long as you're just like maintain the friendship in the same flirty way, then it's all fine and dandy. If you do sort of like go cold turkey, as it were, just like, yeah, okay, I'm not interested anymore because I was interested, but then I found out you didn't have the bit of equipment that I wanted you to have. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? I've known it happen with a lesbian friend of mine who was very much into this woman, and then realized that she didn't have, or the woman that she was into currently had a penis, and she was like, I am not attracted to penis, I don't know what to do. And I was like, there's plenty of things you can do around the scenario. You can keep dating until they have the op, you know. There's a whole load of situations, you know. It's a complicated thing. The human brain is not simple by any stretch of the imagination. All we can ever do is the best we can with the information that we have, you know. Does it mean that some people are going to get hurt? Absolutely. Does it mean that we are going to get hurt? Absolutely. But they are all growing experiences, and we can only ever do our best. We can only ever do our best, you know. And me, I'm fucking oblivious, yeah. I'm just naturally a flirtatious human being. Flirt with fucking everybody. Would work in theory, but no spark dynamic. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, I can understand that. I've had the what's worse than that dynamic is everything is perfect apart from our situation. We like each other. We're attracted to each other. The spark is very much there. The emotions are very much there. But the way our lives is incompatible. I've experienced that once in my life, and it was the worst experience of my life. The worst. Because everything should work. But the dynamics of life mean that you can't work. Sometimes it's better not to get sexual with important friends. I had a hard experience with that and it broke me once. Yes. I can understand why people would feel that way, Hestia. I can understand why people would feel that way. I think if you are both open and clear and communicative, it can be, but it depends on it. There's a lot of nuances that could depend on. It's hard to make generalized conversation about this sort of thing because of how nuanced human interactive relationship dynamics are. There's so many different things. Every single human being is unique, and I don't just mean in the regards of the way they think, the way they feel, their appearance, etc., etc. I mean, they have had life experiences that no other human being has had. They have perceived things that they are literally 1 in 8.5 billion people. They are unique. The combination of their genetics, their health, their gender, their sexuality, their upbringing, their relationship with their parents, their school teachers, their aunts and uncles, their relationship with every single fucking human being that they have ever met, all of the experiences of every single minute of every single day of every single month of every single year that has built up to the point where they are at in this moment has made them so unique in regards to the way that they perceive things. And to find 2 of those people and bring them together and have them in a situation that is problematic means that there is an awful lot of nuance in a specific situation that makes generalized conversation about it very, very difficult. You know? I would love to think about it. I'm like, actually, no, there's so many nuances to that situation that I couldn't possibly give an accurate answer without more information about the specific nuances of a specific situation. And again, not a therapist, not trained in any way, shape or form, covering my back for legal purposes. I'm not a medical professional, none of that shit. I'm just here, a guy on the internet. Van Braver, how you doing? Come here, cheeky devil. What do you like claiming cheeky kisses, you cheeky individual, you? Also, Daytrain Gamer, are you still there, you beautiful bean? Becca Gombatty, I was chatting with this younger guy the other day and forgot why I stopped talking to him till he reminded me, because he would flirt and hit on me even when I told him to stop. He said it was part of his personality, so I told him that he needs to grow up. No means no, then blocked him. Yep. Yeah. There's a difference between flirting with somebody and hitting on somebody. I flirt with fucking everybody. You will see it all of the time. I'll be in somebody's stream and I'll just be like, oh, you cheeky devil. Oh, you say such things to me. Flattery will get you everywhere. That's all flirting. That doesn't mean I'm hitting on those people. By any stretch of imagination. The vast majority of them are in monogamous, happy relationships. I ain't gonna infringe on that. Fuck no. That does not mean I'm not gonna have that comedic, friendly flirting with them. The bants, you know. You know. The empathy and queer folks are what I mean. Love that cis bi men, yeah, trans folks. Yeah, absolutely. You are here, Daytrain Gamer. You asked me a question 20 minutes ago, a sex question, a schmex question, sex education question. For those people that don't know, I am a sex educator. Have been for many years now. I will also preface it by saying I am not medically trained nor psychologically trained to have any certification to my name. That being said, I do have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of things that I know about through my own life experience and study. Just because I don't have a bit of paper by my name doesn't mean that I don't know things. That being said, because I don't have the piece of paper by my name, you should take everything I say with a pinch of salt and do your own research and speak to a medical professional or speak to any description of professional and take their advice over mine because they know better than me. They have the piece of paper. You know what I mean? The question you asked was, I'm not sure exactly how to phrase this, but recently my friend told me about wedgie kinks. And I'm still really confused about how it works and stuff. And I was hoping you could clear up some of my confusion. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, Day Train Gamer, absolutely it makes sense. First of all, anything can be a kink. Anything can be a kink, absolutely. This is a perfect example of that. A wedgie kink, for those people who don't know what a wedgie is, it's when somebody grabs the back or front, it could be the front, but usually the back of somebody's pair of underwear, and they pull it as far up as they possibly can, meaning that the fabric cuts up betwixt their buttocks and cuts into, usually, not literally cuts, as in figurative. Well, no, literally, it finds the fabric deeply and usually painfully wedged in the butthole. That is a wedgie. It is extremely more brutal when somebody is wearing a thong or a jockstrap. Well, no, jockstraps are on the side. A thong of some description, or a G-string. But it can be done with any pair of underwear. It can be done with any pair of underwear at all. In regards to why they like to do it, or why they like it done to them, there are a variety of different reasons. Generally speaking, when it comes to kink, there are always a variety of different things that could be down to upbringing, culture, society, personal preference, and relationship influence is kind of like the best way I can describe that one. It could literally be that they got wedgied when they were younger and they really enjoyed the power dynamic of that, and they didn't realize that it was a sexual thing until they were much older and naturally started to feel the sexual side dynamics, and they were like, oh, the power dynamic of somebody coming up to me and wedging me and forcing bits of fabric into my intimate zones. That could be where it began. It could be the fact that they really just enjoy the sensation of it. That sort of harsh, brutal, feeling, sensation across that part of their anatomy. There are a variety of reasons why it could be. In regards to how it works, it's exactly as you would expect. Somebody goes up behind somebody with consent and wedgies them. And that makes them feel good. Do you have any other further questions about that? Because I realize that's kind of a very simplistic answer. But I've tried to go into not just how it works, but also like why that may be. Either way, it's not something to be ashamed of by any stretch of the imagination. And if they like it, then good for them. Good for them. I mean, there's plenty of people I know of that wear underwear and pull it up so high that it could cut into them, or could cause a cutting sensation or a restrictive sensation in certain parts of their anatomy. So yeah, it makes sense. I can see where the enjoyment of the sensation could come from. I personally never enjoyed being wedgied, but I can see where it comes in. Basically, they gave me a few and then told me about it. It's not my cup of tea, but they like giving and receiving. Well, that's up to you as to where. Okay, the first question I have to ask, Day Train Gamer, and it's a very important question. Did they tell you about their kink before or after they gave you a few wedges? This is very important. Lie and slander? How dare you? I never lie or slander. It's all true. It's all true. After That is a big red flag. That is a big red flag, my friend. I'm not going to harsh on their kink. We talked about it, and so we're okay. Yeah, but it's still a bit weird. I understand you talking about it, and that is entirely up to you. That is your decision. The fact that they have a kink that they put upon you without speaking to you first is a red flag. Whether you choose to go ahead with that, knowing that, or you talk it out and you're like, don't ever fucking do this again, that is up to you. But that is red flag territory. Doesn't matter how much you like them, that is red flag territory. If you have a kink, boundaries, exactly. If you have a kink yourself and you put that upon somebody else without informing them that that is one of your kinks, therefore you are getting sexual gratification out of it without their full informed consent, that's a red flag. And in certain circumstances, could be, I'm not saying this was in this situation, the only person who can dictate that, Day Train Gamer, is yourself, but could be considered to be sexual assault. In my opinion, I would say it teeters on it. The only person who can decide that is yourself. But this is when I say this is serious and when I say it's important, this is what I mean. Because if they knew that they were going to do something that they get sexual gratification from, that you had no knowledge of it, that means you cannot and could not have given informed consent. Now, if you're prepared to forgive that situation, that is entirely up to you. I am not going to judge you either way. That is entirely up to you. That is your decision as a human being. You have every right to make whatever decisions you want. I would say that if you want to continue dynamics with that person, a conversation needs to be had about that, about the fact that that wasn't okay under any circumstances. And the reason why it wasn't okay is because they did something that they find sexually gratifying that you could not have given informed consent to because you had no knowledge of their kinks. Does that make sense, Day Train Gamer? No worries, Prince Ali. Always have to talk about it first when it comes from every form of kink, yeah. And as someone who has a sniffing kink, so gets sniffed when he's unshowered, he's a very cleanly man all over, and he asked me before if I'd be up for it. We did a test run when he was fresh out of the shower, and that's how it should be done, yeah. The conversation always needs to come first. I don't want to put any shame on Day Train Gamer by any stretch of imagination. And I'm certainly not shaming any kinks by any stretch of imagination. Somebody has a kink, that's entirely fair. I am just laying out certain dynamics that you may not have been aware of prior to this conversation. Because unfortunately, it is very, very easy for, especially when it comes to unusual kinks, as in something that isn't like the mainstream, etc. It's very easy for people to go about satisfying that kink without the people involved having full informed consent about it. They asked if they could and stuff, and then after they were really apologetic because they forgot to say, and they felt super bad. I was apologizing a lot. They genuinely seemed to mean it, so I forgave them. And then if they ask to do it again, sometimes I say sure, sometimes I don't. Okay. Kink-jucating, I suppose, yeah. We call it Kenjucation. Because Ken. If that's what you are comfortable with, Day Train Gamer, absolutely fair. If they felt really, really bad about it, I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad they felt bad about it because it means that they know that they've done wrong and they're genuinely apologetic for it, which is a good thing. It could be that they are not used to their kink. They don't know how their kink manifests, the excitement they get from it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know this person. There are a variety of different reasons that could be the way it is and the way it manifested. I will say that it is worth having the conversation with them calmly and openly. It is worth having the conversation with them about informed consent, which is a person cannot give informed consent unless they know all the dynamics of a situation, if that makes sense. Kind of like, let me give you another example of informed consent. If you have got a polyamorous couple and one of those people is about to get with somebody else, the other person 3 in this scenario, should be informed that person 2 has another partner. If they don't know about it, if this person doesn't know that this person has another partner, then that person cannot give informed consent to that dynamic. Because this person may be like, oh my god, you've just cheated on your partner. Oh my god, I didn't realize you were. I'm monogamous. I had no fucking idea. There are so many situations that this person could go through, so many mental stresses and mental anguish that this person can go through by not knowing that this person has another partner, even if these two people completely consent to it. Informed consent means that everybody is informed, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's potentially the origin of it. That's potentially the sensation behind it. I think Day Train Gamer, if you're happy to keep doing it, then you're happy to keep doing it. If they're happy to indulge in it and they would like you to do it to them, that's entirely up to you and what have you. Just remember that just because we don't understand a kink doesn't necessarily mean we can't facilitate it for a partner. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to facilitate something that doesn't get us off personally if it means we are bringing happiness to a partner. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Oh, Prince Ali has already left, but they did say, but that implies that trans people want or need surgeries. Val, not every trans person decides to transition physically or even hormonally. That's a very, very good point. That's a very, very good point. I know they're not here to respond now, but that is a very, very good point. You are here. Fantastic. There we go. Scrolling down. I'm really struggling to keep up with everybody's comments here today, friends. I'm doing my best. I love flirting as long as everybody is clear of what it is. Yeah. Just wanted to say, amazingly interesting subject, such complexities and emotiveness that for myself as a cis male heterosexual, I'm mostly unaware of. I don't operate in many circles outside of the streams like this, so I am learning many things. This has and will help me with my own children. Those who are ages of exploring their identity and can and I can definitely say the openness and intelligent discussion here helped me no end into reversing these nuanced subjects. Thank you also all that contributed. Grito, thank you very much for saying that. Genuinely, thank you for saying that. Because it's one of those things that I think I frequently forget because of the kind of conversations that we have here, kind of dynamics and interesting topics we discuss. I think I frequently forget that sometimes stuff that I find so natural can be quite massively changing, like life changing to some people, in helping them with their kids, in helping them with understanding relatives or their partner or something like that. And I'm just like, yeah, everything's fine. And they're like, no, you don't understand. This is fucking huge. So thank you all, not only me, but the entire community for this. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. It's like having cheese wire up your bum when you've got a thong on. My ex did it once. I wasn't impressed, to be honest. It hurt. Wasn't a nice person. Thought it was hysterical. Yeah, I can imagine they did. But it's bullies, isn't it? But there is definitely a sexual preference for bullies. There are people out there who genuinely feel like they love that behavior when they are bullied, and that's up to them. Their kink is being bullied. I don't understand it, but if it's between consenting adults, then it's fine. No. Very great. Busy figuring out what the person I'm dating likes and doesn't like before going anywhere near sex. Pretty icky to go into that situation and just do stuff without knowing your partner's likes and dislikes. I wouldn't say that. And the reason why I wouldn't say that is because a lot of people either haven't had many experiences, and when I say experiences, I don't just mean lots and lots of sex. I mean No, we see you later, Day Train Game. I appreciate you. They may have had terrible lovers. They may have had selfish lovers. There are a lot of people that I have met in my colourful life where they didn't know what they liked. They had no idea what they liked because the partners that they had had before me were selfish people. They only give a shit about getting their end away. And as a result, they had no fucking clue. I would say that it's always worth having the conversation before sex so that you're at the very least on the same page. But it's important to not judge people, if that makes sense. I don't think you would, Mayor Wi-Fi. It's just like kind of opening up that subject. It's that whole thing of being like, yeah, this person may not have had experience. That doesn't mean you can't learn things together, you know? I think the conversation's important, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't explore during sex. Just that before you try anything, you should at least ask and know some of the stuff beforehand. Yeah, but then I will also say that a lot of that for me is part of the flirting. Learning somebody's sexual preferences is part of the flirtatious element. Being like, okay, so what works for you? Yeah, now I know what you mean. Yeah, I like that, but when you do this with it, yeah, okay. Oh, you didn't like that? All right, okay. What happens if we did something like that? You know, those kinds of conversations are part of the flirtation. Part of, well, I suppose it goes from flirtation to hitting on at that point, you know. It's way sexier, in my opinion, to discuss what you and your partner like beforehand. Yeah, part of the, yeah, exactly, Jenna. But like part of that sort of flirtatious, getting to know each other, get you hot under the collar kind of thing. That being said, I've definitely got into bed with somebody I knew sweet fuck all about, and part of the fun was exploring because that person, that individual, and no judgment to them by any stretch of imagination, they had no experience. They'd had a very, very, very sheltered life. Again, partners had been very selfish and they just had no fucking clue. And they were like, I don't fucking know. And when I pressed the subject, they would get flustered and anxious. And I was like, do you know what? It is not worth stressing this person out and making them anxious about something they haven't even done yet because they think that I am some fucking sex guru because I've had more experience. And they're like, oh my God, I'm going to be so disappointing for him. He's so worldly. He knows so much stuff. He's a sex educator. I am going to be like the biggest disappointment in bed. And it's like, no, that's so much fucking pressure to put on somebody. Instead of me asking and trying to find out what they like, it's just like, no, do you know what? We're two people. We won't talk about it beforehand. We won't talk about my personal preferences or your personal preferences. And then if we get to a point where we are, as consenting adults, wanting to share our bodies with each other, then we'll do that and we'll explore together. You'll learn my preferences just as I learn your preferences. The condition is that we have to be open and honest. If we don't like something, we need to talk about that. Or we need to say, without judgment and without prejudice, that's not working for me. Could you try moving up a little bit? Or could you try something different? Could you try it with your tongue instead of your finger, you know? So 99% of the time I would agree with you, Mayor Whitefire, but I also understand that there are exceptions to the rules, if that makes sense. Right, I'm whipping down a wee bit. Also for you, how you doing? How's it going?
Subscribe.
Simplex Pachinko coming in for the 20 months.
Valen Vega Boost handing it to your ego. Handing it to it. Handing it to it. Valen Vega Boost.
Handing it to it, not pandering to it. Handing it to it, Simplex. I see. I see. Simplex Pachinko, your name is now inscribed upon the mirror vein. By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. In fact, technically it's a metaphorical one because it doesn't exist anymore. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you got to roll over every morning, look in the mirror, and go, God, do I look rough? But God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, harra, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. And thank you very much for being a paid subscriber. Takes that one step closer to the 60-40 split. I very much appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. Well, kink shaming, we're kink educating. Yeah, but it's worth reinforcing the information of the fact that we are not here to kink shame. You know? Is it considered a kink if I want to bite my friends when I am overwhelmed? Do you get sexual gratification out of it, Kiki Moonchild? That's the first question. If you want to bite your friends when you are overwhelmed and you get sexual gratification out of it, then yes. And as a result, as a result, you should probably inform your friends that that is the case. Sounds more like a self-soothing compulsion? Yes. But that's the reason why I'm differentiating. Like a kink is usually sexually charged in some way. That doesn't necessarily mean that sex is involved. Like, you can have a BDSM relationship with somebody and not be fucking them. That is entirely possible. How's it going, Astro Girl? How you doing, you beautiful bean? What's the difference between actual kinks versus something less out there? What do you mean, Becca Gombatti? Becca Gombatti, could you give me an example of what you consider to be an actual kink, for example? Have you phrased that right? I think it's just the nuance of the language there, like the way that you've used it. I think it comes from like no shame on you at all by any stretch of imagination. I think it just comes on a misunderstanding of what a kink is. But I just want to clarify that before I answer the question, if that makes sense. BDSM, like playful biting, they're both kinks. And sometimes I do get more levels of comfort, and I always inform them and ask if they are comfortable with me biting them. Yeah, in which case, Kiki Moon, like that isn't what I would consider to be a kink. I would say like exactly what Robinson Crusoe said about that. It's self-soothing. It's compulsion. A way for you to soothe yourself with the consent of your friends. You know? But to answer your question, Becca Gombatti, a kink can be anything. A kink is a sexual preference. That is effectively what a kink is. The difference between a kink and a fetish, for example, a kink is a preference. Like lingerie is the biggest kink out there. People don't think about it because everyone wears lingerie. Do you know what I mean? You think of a woman in a sexy experience and you're like, that person's obviously wearing lingerie. But lingerie is a kink. I have a sexual preference for my partner to be wearing something pretty and alluring that draws my eye to certain parts of her anatomy. It is a kink. BDSM, again, a kink. A fetish is it's like the next step. It's like something that is sexually essential to be a part of that. I have a friend who has a fetish for Hawaiian shirts. can only get aroused when his wife is wearing a Hawaiian shirt, which she fucking loves because it means that he's like, well, she's like, he leaves me alone when I want him to leave me alone because I'm not wearing a Hawaiian shirt. But the moment I want some, I put on a Hawaiian shirt. Fucking sweet. Do you know what I mean? Can a voice sound be a kink? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. There is an awful lot of people, especially in this community, that have voice kinks, for sure. For sure. Unexpected, honestly, but perfect. Yeah. Oh, I missed that. Probably not. Did it change in 6 years? No, it definitely hasn't changed in hundreds of years. Think you'd be good. My daughter did that when she was about 3. Bit my spouse right through on the rear, right through her jeans, left a lemon-sized bruise. Oh, Jesus Christ. Unexpected, but perfect. Yeah, fair. Hawaiian shirts, yeah. Yeah. Works for them. You know. No criticism to them. Oh, this one's a thingy. Scar, are you still here? Because you've asked a question there, and I want to be very careful about it because just purely because of the mood I'm in more than anything else. You've asked the question. You said that only the person in a situation can say if it was sexual assault or not. But what if one was in a situation where stuff happened and they are not sure if it was sexual assault or not? What can one do then to know if it was or was not? In my personal opinion, I believe that if you are unsure, the question you need to ask is, did I express consent? Did I express consent? Did I feel like I was consenting? There is a very good chance that if you are questioning it, if there is a point in your mind where you're like, I'm not sure whether it was or whether it wasn't, it was. And it's shit to say and it's fucking horrible to say, but there is a very good chance. The only person who can make that decision is the person in that situation, okay? And the reason why I'm very clear about that statement is because there is definitely situations where I have been a little bit tipsy, or I've been drunk and I have had sex with somebody who's been more sober than me, and I don't feel like I was taken advantage of in any way, shape or form. I feel like I was completely, fully consenting. I didn't specifically say yes, but I myself feel like I was consenting. I was very much in the mood. I was very much game. I was there, you know? I do not think that person took advantage of me by any stretch of the imagination. That is the reason why I'm like, there are nuances to every situation, you know? If you are questioning it, there is a good chance that it is yes. Because if you are unsure about whether it was or whether it wasn't, that means you are unsure as to whether you were consenting or whether you weren't. And that is usually something that you should be careful of. If you feel uncomfortable with anything anyone does, then it's a yes. Not necessarily. I know where you're coming from there, Ginger Lily, and I think the majority of the time you're correct. Yes, Ember. I kind of just wanted to get that one done, and then we can go back to the other conversation. But thank you. If it does continue, then yeah. Because again, there is definitely things that I have been uncomfortable with that I've consented to. And I was okay to consent to them. They did make me uncomfortable, but I was like, if this makes you happy, then fucking hey. You know? But I fully understand where you're coming from, and on the majority of situations, I agree. If you were ever questioning whether it was SA or wasn't, and because of the dynamic of you feeling uncomfortable, then yeah, I completely agree. I completely fucking agree. Now you're alright, good. You are okay, Scar, and I think there's something like, it's one of the situations where it is a very, very serious topic, but I think it's something that does need to be discussed. We need to be clear with stuff like that, because the majority of people in the world, especially online, don't feel comfortable talking about this stuff. And I understand why, because it's not comfortable. But if I don't do it, who's going to? You know what I mean? If I don't do it, then no one's going to have that conversation, and you are going to sit and constantly question whether it was or whether it wasn't. So, I will. Okay. Yeah, coping mechanism. How's it go, friend? Generally, you also left. See you later. You take it easy, beautiful bean. Specifications on people. People I'm comfortable with. Always ask them, yeah, if you can respect. Yeah. You can talk about it as you go. Oh yeah, 100%. You like this? How does this feel? Excuse me. Out of curiosity, does it make a difference if you bite your own arm, or is it someone else's? Or that person's arm? Jesus Christ. Got to the Belchers. Jalapeno Jack, welcome on in. It's either Jalapeno Jack or Jalapeno Jack. And I love the idea that it's Jalapeno Jack, even though the correct pronunciation would be Jalapeno Jack. Could be Jalapeno Hack. Let me know how to pronounce your name, you beautiful being. Welcome on in. Something that some comments do then sounds like a coping mechanism than a kink. Yeah. A soothing, self-soothing. Many people find out keep your kink to yourself in the bedroom. That's because, Kiki Moonlight, people don't understand what fucking kinks are. This is actually a perfect situation. So Kiki Moonlight has just said, you've always seen it as a self-soothing thing, yeah. But many people who find out say keep your kink to yourself or in the bedroom. Keep your kink in the bedroom. Okay. Important differentiation here, and I'm going to thingy. Loopy Loo, yes it is. Very simple answer to that question. Is coercion assault? Yes. The Cherry Drop, how you doing? It has been a while. Welcome on in. The whole thing of keep your kink to yourself / in the bedroom. Like you, okay, let me put context here for people that may have just joined us. You biting your friends when you are overwhelmed with their consent is a self-soothing action. When you tell other people and they say keep your kink to yourself or keep your kink in the bedroom, that is exactly the same difference between an art nude painting and a pornographic image. The art nude painting is a naked form for artistic purposes. A pornographic image is there specifically for sexual gratification. You biting somebody because you are self-soothing is not sexual in any way, and therefore is self-soothing. You biting somebody because it gets you hot under the collar, gets your heart pumping, and makes you feel a quiver in your quim, that is a kink. Does that make sense? The differentiation between them? Loopy Loo. I'm being very careful here, friends, because I don't want to trigger people, because I know an awful lot of people in the community have been through extreme have been through sexual assaults of various different degrees. Rape is a form of sexual assault. You're being in a relationship doesn't. I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at you before you worry about that. I'm angry about the situation because I find this is one of those situations where it triggers the fuck out of me because I get really, really angry about the situation. And now I'm going to put on the serious topic because we are now talking about sexual assault. Because people need to understand things. Friends, please be aware if you are not prepared for this conversation, and you would like to walk away, that is perfectly fine. Fully understandable. If you need to go. That is okay. Rape is a form of sexual assault. You being in a relationship does not change the fact that it is a sexual assault. It doesn't matter. Yeah, absolutely fine, Lunicorn, 100%. It does not matter who you are with. It doesn't matter your relationship with that person. It doesn't matter your intimacy with that person. It doesn't matter whether you fucked that person 5 minutes ago. Rape is, but there are different types of sexual assault. Rape is the most extreme. Technically, yes. I mean, in the easiest terms, yes, is the answer to that question. Regardless of the scenario, Loopy Lou. Yeah, you're right. No need to apologize. I am the only person in charge in this stream. I have decided to take on this conversation. If I wasn't prepared to take on the conversation, I would not have taken it up. The only person responsible for this conversation is me. All sexual assault is sexual assault. There is no one worse than the other. All are valid. Yeah, I wouldn't say that one's worse than the other. I would say that the extremities of such things can be... It depends on who you are, how it affects you, all that jazz. Either way. Yes, Scar, if you would like to ask me, as we're now in that serious topic thing, then you can do, yeah. Coercion by default means that one did not consent. You can't be forced, encouraged, or pressured into consent, yes. In exactly the same way that when somebody is writing a will for after they pass, they say stuff like, I, Valen Vane, of sound mind and body, etc. Rape has a specific legal definition of vagina being penetrated by a penis. Everything else is sexual assault / sexual assault by penetration. Thank you very much, Shade and Sunshine. Yes, rape is a type of sexual assault because of the hetero bias societies that we live in. Rape is a very specific legal terminology that revolves around a man and a man with a penis and a woman with a vagina. In fact, no, do you know what? I don't think legally it just says penis and vagina, doesn't it? So it's a person with a penis and a person with a vagina. And again, thank you very much, Sembar. Yes, legal definitions do change country to country. And various different jurisdictions as well. If you're in the States, different states have different definitions. Worth bearing in mind. I was there because I thought I was just being part of... It was just a part of being in a relationship and pleasing your partner. I've only recently figured out that it could have been assault. Sorry if... Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, okay. Okay. So, Loopy Lou. The only person... No, not yet, Jam. Thank you for the offer, but not yet, thank you. Loopy Lou, kindly stop apologizing. Stop apologizing and don't you dare go back into lurk when you are in the middle of this conversation. Okay? Thank you, Jam, but no, I'm all right for the time being. So, there is a difference. You're allowed to cry. That's fine. You can't help it because you have BPD. Regardless, you're not allowed to apologize for existing. You're not allowed to apologize for asking a question that I have decided to take upon my own shoulders. You are not allowed to apologize for my actions. Okay, full stop. You're not allowed to do that. These are my actions. The only person responsible is me. End of story. Okay? Now, there is a difference between consent and enthusiastic consent. Okay? And the only... Forget about upsetting anybody right now. The only person that we're worried about right now is you. Okay? So just focus on what I'm saying. Stop thinking about everybody else. If everybody else has an issue, they can fuck off. Focus on what I'm saying right now. There is a difference between consent and enthusiastic consent. And what I mean by that, is that it is entirely possible for you to have sex with somebody and not be enthusiastic about it. That is a possibility. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that's a possibility. The only person who can answer that question is you. Okay? So, there are dynamics. Doesn't matter whether you were in a relationship, whether you were a fuck buddy, whether you were just friends, whether it was somebody you didn't fucking know. There are dynamics there that the only person who knows about is you because you were the person in the situation. Okay? If you were coerced, which is pressured into having sex with somebody, that is coercion and that is a form of sexual assault. If they were very, very keen for sex and you weren't really bothered, but you thought, fuck it, it'll make them happy, and you were happy to go along with it in order to make them happy, then that is consent, just not enthusiastic consent. And this is an important differentiation. The only person who can answer that question is you, the person who's in the situation. Okay? So, if you were pressured into having sex that you didn't really want to have, had no real intention, you didn't find the person attractive, you were not lustful in any way, shape, or form, and you were pressured into having sex against your own better judgment and will, that is coercion, and that is sexual assault. If it was a scenario of you weren't really in the mood, but you were okay with it because you wanted to make them happy, or you wanted, you thought it would bring a closeness between you, even though you weren't feeling like lustful and stuff like that, that is consent, just not enthusiastic consent. And there is the reason why I differentiation the difference between consent and enthusiastic consent is because I know many, many, many couples who have been trying for children, and a lot of the time they have not been enthusiastic about having sex in order to try for a kid. But they're both consenting. They're both wanting to be a part of that. Okay? The only person can answer whether it was one of those two, Loopy Loo, is yourself. Guilt tripping is absolute coercion, yes. You shouldn't feel guilty in sex about any regard. Completely agree. Completely agree. Right, let me scroll up a wee bit. General reminders, rest of the chat. If you need to step away, self-care, please do. Thank you very much for pinning that as well. Scar, I'll answer your question momentarily. Let me just think it's a minute of situation too. The only realized that it was all, you're not alone in this. Absolutely. There's an awful lot of people that realize after the fact that situation was not okay. Trigger line when hospital program for PTSD is if you're having trouble, if you can get your face cold and wet, it triggers a reflex that will bring your heart rate down and really helps with these conversations. That's good. How's it going, Alpaca Lunch? We're having a very serious conversation around sexual assault. If you would like, if that is too much for you and you need to step away, that is perfectly okay. My ex-husband did that for me for 9 years. Finally able to leave, but it was hard yet. Thank you very much, Mayor Whitefire. Yeah. I don't think any of them can see me right now because we're in the middle of ads. Step away and come back to something very heavy sounding. Are we all okay, darling? Major Jiggle, I am emotional. Surface emotional. It's genuinely one of the great benefits of currently being in a bit of an emotional void is the fact that I can have these conversations without getting too out of hand. Back from ads, welcome back. Loopy Loo, are you back? Are you back from the ads? Because I realized I was chatting away there and thingies. You are good. Did you hear what I said before the adverts kicked in? Oh, you're a Prime, so did you not get adverts, Loopy Loo? Just to confirm. So I made sure that you could hear what I was saying. Cool. You heard what I said. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's a hard thing. I would strongly recommend seeing a therapist if you are able to do so. You did get ads? Interesting. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, not Twitch Turbo. You're a Prime user. That's fair enough. But you did hear everything I said, right? Or if not, then what was the last thing that you heard me say? And people who are not sexually leaning may still engage with their partners just because there's an activity they both do together and because they enjoy it for that other person, even if it doesn't do much for them. Is what I want to do this. That is important. Exactly that, Snowdenchi. I know an awful lot of asexual people who personally have no interest in sex, but they have sex because they enjoy experiencing time with their partner. 110%. Scar, are you still here? I tried to get counseling. The last thing I heard you say was that you can only, you can. So the thing was, only you can decide if it was assault or not. On the one hand, if you, from the sounds of things, you were saying about being guilt tripped into it because you didn't want to lose them, etc. That is coercion. You have been pressured into a way that you felt that you couldn't say no. That is coercion. That is sexual assault. The alternative, as I was explaining just before the adverts happened, is that you're not really in the mood, but you did it to make them happy. That is consent, but not like enthusiastic consent, if that makes sense. You're not like you were being pressured into it, but if they were like, hey, I'm keen for it, and you were like, I'm not really in the mood, but I'll do it because I like them and it makes them feel good, and I'm up for it. In exactly the same way that Snow Denshi says, it's like there's asexual people out there that will have sex with their partner even though they don't enjoy sex themselves. Could I have the conversation? No, it's all right. I would rather do it all now, if that makes sense. Situation you were talking about, it didn't care directly as something that one would consider sexual. That's why the question came up. Then can I ask what context it did come up in? Out of interest. New Forest Ninja, how you doing? How's it going? In my experience, an adult woman is very probably going to have unwanted sex at some point. I've even had unwanted sex to be polite. I wouldn't advise it, but it takes time and experience to stand up for yourself. Yep. I know it's a very sensitive subject, but I found that even rape is something that can affect people differently, and you can choose in some situations not to take on the feelings that society expects. It's true. It depends on the kind of person that you are as to whether you are capable of doing that. It was in a setting of physiotherapy. Scar, you've got me on. You sent me a message the other day on Discord. Could you send me a message on Discord as to what happened? And I will be able to give you a clearer answer. I don't want you to do it here because I don't want to trigger anybody any further than the conversation already is. So if you send me a DM as to what happened on Discord, then I will be able to say yes or no as to whether I personally believe that was the situation or not. Kitty is mad at you, but he won back the treats. That's entirely fair. That is entirely fair, Prince Ali. Also, Prince Ali, earlier on you mentioned a thing about me invalidating the experiences of trans people, and I'm very glad that you brought that up, so thank you very much for that. We've moved on to a very, very serious topic about sexual assault and rape. So again, for those people that have just joined us, if you don't want to be part of that conversation, now is your opportunity to leave. Yeah. Night Dweller, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is your emotional void the empty kind or the full kind? If that's no too personal question, I'm currently in a pit of emotional turmoil and I find myself sobbing at minor things. Oh, it's the empty kind. I cannot feel... I don't feel deep emotions at the moment. I will at some stage, but at the moment I don't. So when we're having a conversation like this that is quite triggering for me because it gets me very, 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 very angry, the anger that I'm feeling is significantly diluted to the anger that I would normally feel about this situation, if that makes sense. I am able to sit myself into a logical and analytical brain. How's it going, Rach? Just giving everyone a heads up that may have just joined us. We are having a serious topic about sexual assault and rape at the moment. If this is not the night for you, if you are feeling sensitive, you're not feeling in the brain space for it, you want to step out, you want to put me on mute, or mute the tab or what have you, no judgment by any stretch of imagination. We appreciate you absolutely. I just realized that I've had quite a few people pop back in and I'm like, I just want to make sure that everybody understands the topic of conversation we're having here. Right, hold on, where was I? Also, if the counsellor and you don't super vibe with each other, you can ask them if they know a colleague and recommend them. Yeah, absolutely. Good therapist and good therapy. That's the ones that you need. Absolutely. You might know that my nickname is New Forest Ninja after training in martial arts. Now I'm 5th dan. Fully understandable. And I'm glad that you are there to help other women defend themselves. For sure. For sure. It's very much needed. What if the person was asleep? For example, you wake up and they are on you midway, then yes. Yes, you are. That is sexual assault. If somebody... There is a nuance there, Cherry Drop, that I personally experience. So I can give you very exact dynamics there. Okay? Consent and tea, yes. So I suffer from sexsomnia, which is getting frisky in my sleep. It is a similar thing to sleepwalking. I've talked about this a few times in chat. Generally speaking, 99% of the time, if you are asleep and you wake up and a person is halfway through or what have you, or very much in the process of getting frisky with you, yes, 110% sexual assault. When I share a bed with somebody, I always inform them that if I'm first sharing a bed with somebody, or if it's been a while since I've shared a bed with somebody, I will always inform them that I suffer from sexsomnia. And if they feel uncomfortable, I can sleep somewhere else. And if they wake up and I am getting handsy and they're not comfortable with it, to elbow me in the fucking ribs, so I wake up, and I will immediately stop and usually apologize greatly. Okay? However, I also, because I suffer from sexsomnia, I also have a prerequisite where I turn around to somebody and I say, hey, if I have that dynamic with a partner, for example, if I have a sexual partner and I'm like, if I start getting handsy in my sleep and you are up for it, you have my pre-consent to go with the flow of that. I am consenting to whatever my subconscious body ends up doing, and you to enjoy it if you would like to. So 99.9% of the time, if you wake up and you are mid-sex, 110% sexual assault. Definitely. There is a very specific medical condition or psychological, I don't actually know what causes my sexsomnia. I've not had it explored, but I know it exists. That is a thing that I have no control over. I have no conscious control over, because if I had conscious control over it, I wouldn't fucking do it. It makes things very, very difficult in my life. There is that specific situation in which very open, honest, clear communication needs to be had a lot beforehand, with understanding that if that person that I'm sharing a bed with isn't comfortable, then I'm leaving. I'm getting out and staying on a sofa. You know what I mean? I'm not risking that. If they're in any way uncomfortable, I'm staying on the sofa. If they wake me up from elbowing me, I am fucking staying on the sofa. You know? But generally speaking, if you are asleep and somebody who is conscious and awake starts trying to have sex with you, etc., then yes, it is sexual assault. I've done that before, where a few times didn't want to and was pestered regularly till I gave in. I enjoy it. I started to enjoy a bit on occasion, but first time I didn't. Yeah, and then the first time was definitely coercion. May I remind everybody in this topic that there is a great channel in Discord for venting when this stream isn't on. Thank you very much, Claudius. Also, remember, if you are putting something in the venting channel, please remember to spoiler it so that nobody can see what you're writing, and also write trigger warnings or content warnings so that people are aware of what they are getting into if they choose to read it. Thank you all for your input and sharing. I'm so lucky. I was worried that you would all hate me, hence the reason why I normally lurk on lives, because I didn't want to upset anyone ever. So, well, I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough to come out of lurk to ask the question. Loopy loop. Unless previously consented within a certain dynamic, sleeping people cannot give consent. Agreed. I give pre-consent to being woken up to a blowjob, for example, if that makes sense. But unless I have specifically said that, then I cannot consent because I'm fucking asleep. I found that comment made about choosing how we respond quite upsetting. Like, we have failed if we react. I can understand that. But I can also understand. Okay, let me put it this way. I think there might have been a miscommunication in that, Caro. Well, let me read what New Forest Ninja said. I was able to process what happened to me in a way that blamed men, not myself. Yeah, it was all clarified, but just to reiterate, it's not about if a person is assaulted, it is not their reaction that is ever the problem. It is not the way they feel, the way they deal with it, the way they handle it, that is ever the problem. The only person to blame for those situations is the perpetrator, is the person that did the thing. That's the only person to blame. What, as New Forest Ninja clarified, what they meant in regards to reacting, it was how they channeled and processed the emotions that came from their experiences, which is the reason why I specifically said you have to be in a very specific mindset to be able to do that. The shame must change sides. Yes it must. Yes it must, but then that requires a big attitude change on a societal level. Not that that's a bad thing, but it does require that. No worries, Prince Ali. Appreciate you. I think you turn things around. You really just want to. I really want to. It's just because of where I live. I don't feel safe going outside, getting a steel device. The thing left to put in my arsenal. Yeah. Everyone hates you for speaking about your experiences, traumas, and it's their issue, nothing to do with you. Those people are not worth your time and energy. Agreed. That being said, let me clarify, because there are certain individuals who sometimes struggle with understanding when is the right time and place to talk about a thing. If it's an emergency, it's always the time and place. Let me be very, very clear with that. If it's an emergency, it's always the time and place. If it's just happened, it's always the time and place. If you are talking about a specific situation, it's probably worth, and you are a person that you and yourself know that sometimes you are oblivious in regards to certain social situations and stuff like that. Sometimes it's worth asking the question as to whether it's appropriate to talk to you about something. Because even though I am an open-minded and patient and try to be as calm and chill and relaxed and understanding and empathetic as possible, there are still times and places that certain conversations are not appropriate. You know? If you are in a place that you are led to believe is safe, being surrounded by friends, and you want to talk about a subject that is extremely difficult for you, and they tell you to shut the fuck up, then they're not your friends. They're just people who are around you. I asked my current partner what I thought when I asked my current partner when I thought it could have been an assault, and he said he wasn't sure. I can understand that. I don't agree with it, but I also understand that an awful lot of people in the world have been brought up with a very specific view of life, and therefore their perspective of what is right and what is wrong might not be there. I, however, am a sex educator who has done an awful lot of research on these things and know a hell of a lot. And I also have worked with or raised money for and done podcasts with the Survivors Trust, who help and support the survivors of rape and sexual abuse. So I have a fair amount more knowledge than a lot of people do. Thank you everyone for your openness and honesty tonight. Please take care of yourselves. Yes, do our best. It's going to be a longer text. Is that okay? We can carry it. Yeah. Like, Scar, just let me know what's going on, and I'll tell you yay or nay whether I personally believe it is or not. Big love and hug to him. Upset by this topic. Coercive control is abusive. For UK peeps, not sure what else is available. If you're experiencing this and want to support, you can look up local domestic abuse and contact them for advice. You can also contact the Survivors Trust, which I believe is !TST. Upset is just another human emotion, and we are all durable enough that if we ever do feel it, never worry about it. Even if you do upset people, which you have, trust people to handle it. Yeah. Just makes me angry. It was constantly stated to me that it was okay if you get my meaning due to me being married to that person. Unfortunately, Cherry Drop, that was the way that it was legally seen for an awful lot of years, that if you are married with a person, then it should be expected that your husband can have sex with you whenever he wants. And that is not the case by any stretch of imagination. It is still sexual assault. I'm no angel though. So? I am now reading everything. Thank you very much. Sembar for those. Okay. I'm gonna call it as I see it. Loopy Loo. That's not okay. You are no angel. Completely agree. That does just because. Right. Stop, Loopy Loo. One more apology from you, you're gonna get timed out. There you go. That's one way to get you to stop apologizing for existing. First of all, you say I am not an angel. You are no angel. So? Nobody deserves anything like that. There isn't a single person in the entire world that deserves any description of sexual assault. In any way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter how good or bad they are. Nobody deserves it. under any circumstance. That being said, what you have said in the rest of that statement also is not okay. I am glad that you feel bad about it. I understand your reasoning for it, but as I've always said, just because somebody has a reason for something doesn't mean that it excuses their behavior. I hope that, and from the sounds of things, from what you've said, the guilt about that situation from what you've done will push you to be a better person in the future. A reason does not an excuse make. Just because we have a reason for our actions does not mean that they are excused in any way, shape, or form. So, just because you are no angel does not mean that you deserve what you went through. And as a completely separate point, what you did was not okay. In any way, shape, or form. And I'm glad that you feel guilty about it, because that is the right feeling for it. It makes me know better. Why do you think it's linear? Why do you think that you are on a line with people who are better than you and worse than you? They are completely separate fucking things. They're completely separate things. You did something that is not okay. That is on you. Absolutely. It's not a competition. Exactly. Each incident is on its own. We are humans who can learn and grow from our experiences. Completely agree. Sleep sex is called sexomnia. Yes, I know. Gizmo, I think you might have missed the point where I said I have it. I suffer from sexomnia. There's no such thing as evil, Loopy Loo. Okay, Loopy Loo. I understand you needing to leave. Please be aware, there is no such thing as evil. It is not a competition. Exactly as Sembar said, it is not a competition. They are separate incidents. And each incident is a thing in and of itself. I don't hate anybody, Loopy Loo. And it sounds like you hate yourself enough for anybody. So I think it's possibly best if you take some time, go and do whatever it is you need to do to help calm yourself and soothe yourself. And exactly that. If you are able to, I would strongly suggest seeking out therapy, because it sounds like you have been through a hell of a lot. It sounds like it is all very, very confusing in your head, and a good therapist with the right type of therapy can help you untangle it all in your own brain. It can be scary and it can be fucking painful, but it doesn't, like, it will be good in the long run. Exactly as Sembar plays. It helps us grow and becomes a better person. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I I appreciate your ethical clarity here, Qualia. I have a very strong moral compass. Right, Loopy Loo. Go away. Calm down. I am not here to, like, none of us are here to pander to your self-suffering, okay? What you deserve and what you don't deserve usually isn't up to you. If you want to come back and chat again, you are welcome to do so. Thank you very much, Semba. But right now, you need to go away and calm down. Because evidently you are very overwhelmed by it, fully understandably, because it has been an intense conversation. Something that is very, very raw and very overwhelming. But right now, you are focusing on self-punishment, self-sabotage, and considering that you are not worthy. So now you need to go and just zen yourself out a little bit. We will see you next time you come in. Okay? My issue with things like this is that it's impossible to find the ability to go to any kind of group therapy or talk to others about the situation to match in this topic because of my CPTSD. 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 Yeah. CPTSD. Because literally the closest thing. Yeah. Okay, I get you, Prince Ali. That's awful. That is absolutely awful. But it does sound like you... I wouldn't say group therapy, but certainly individual therapy if you were able to. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. Yeah, sexomnia is very much a thing, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't. I really wish it wasn't. But it is. Amy Samisu, how are you doing, you beautiful individual? Please be aware, Amy, as you've just come and joined us, that we're having a very, very serious conversation at the moment about rape and sexual assault. So if that is too much, if that is too heavy, I completely understand people wanting to step out. Although I think the conversation is winding up a little bit. Okay, Scar, I've got your message. I will read it after stream. Where was I? There we go. Okay. Waitlist for these are obnoxious. Last time I checked, the CBT was a group one, not one-on-one sessions. I would still get on the list at the very, very least, Prince Ali. If you can get on the list at the very least, then you never know what situations will happen in the future that might open up certain one-on-one situations, you know? How's it going, Vetgal? How you doing? Been here the whole time, no worries. No, you beautiful being. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Amy. Let's wind that conversation up there. And also, mods, can I get a shout out for Amy Samisu, please? Because I fucking love Amy. Fucking love your face, you beautiful being. EMDR. All right, yeah. People go check out this. Oh, look at you! I love this new profile picture of yours. That's fucking cool as shit. People go check out Amy Sumisu. Amy Sumisu is another member of my wonderful, or the stream team I'm a part of. Not my wonderful stream team. The stream team I am a part of, and they are spectacular. I love hanging out there. Because of time zones, I am actually able to pop into Amy's in the morning, which is always great. But yeah, double shout out. Amy deserves both, to be fair. Also, Larissa Medini, beautiful bean, how you doing? Do you have nuggies or hot dogs? I'm a vegetarian, so I couldn't possibly speculate, but I'm gonna say nuggies because people keep talking about how amazing it is. Triple shout out, multi shout out. If I'm going to go therapy to one-to-one, I have been able to dive into the uncomfortable things easier. Sometimes the group makes it harder to talk if you're not open in front of others. An interesting philosophy. I think a lot of time people have got to be careful about what they personally feel and think and how they react to others. I know that group therapy is not for everybody by any stretch of the imagination. I also know that one of the big issues that group therapy can be, especially if the person running the group therapy isn't as sharp as with their tongue as some others are very strict, then the attention-seeking people can take over the group therapy. And I would like to say that there's never attention-seeking people in the group therapy, but I know different. So, veggie nuggies are a thing. Yeah. Why have veggie nuggies when I can just have veggie burgers? Didn't know you were a vegetarian. What's your favorite meal? Depends on my mood, to be quite honest with you. Right, friends, as you can probably tell, my brain has deflated and I have run out of energy. It was a very, very intricate, very important and quite difficult conversation to have today, from bi-erasure right the way through to the last topic of conversation. And I am genuinely very, very, very grateful that we've been able to have these conversations, because it is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to call it there. I'm probably going to go and chill out. Because I'm back from lurking. Lunicorn, I was just saying you are very, very welcome, you beautiful being. Always love you having you here. I'm just saying that my brain's a little spent in the old brain pan. Can we have a sneak peek of tomorrow's games, though? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Boop. So the games that oh, that's not right. That's the wrong one. For those people that don't know, every single time we do a game on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I put it out to the community for you to, as a palate cleanser, exactly. Put it out to the community for all of you to decide on which game we will play. And the games that we have available are these ones. The first is Shady Part of Me, a puzzle game to do with shadows and intricacies, also delightfully monochrome and gothic. Second, we have Genesis Noir, some kind of interesting musical film noir style jazz thing. Then we have Aquarist, which is a game we were playing a couple of weeks ago, where it is a aquarium building simulator. As you probably are all aware, I, as an individual, fucking love fish. I love my fish. I love my fish tanks. Next, we have Steam World Heist, which is a game we started playing last week when the original game that was voted for was a bag of crusty wank. And finally, Prince of Persia, the original, the OG. Prince of Persia Sands of Time. We will become a Prince of Persia and deal with sands in a timey-wimey kind of way. These are the options that we have for the game tomorrow. Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persian style, don't you even. Assassin's Creed wouldn't even exist if it wasn't Prince of Persia. Don't you try and do it the other way around, all right? Blackthorn Lives, how you doing? How's it going? Also, Melissa Panna, how you doing, you beautiful individual? Wanted to say thank you for the Instagram and Facebook stuff. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much for popping in and saying hi. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Today was a heavy stream, but overall it's been all right. It's been okay. Hey Van and chat was very intense, but love to listen. And these chats, whenever I can pop in here, that is I'm very thankful for that. Thank you, Blackthorn Live. It was heavy. It was a heavy and intense conversation. The spoons have gone AWOL. They bloody well have. They bloody well have. The spoons have indeed gone AWOL. I had limited spoons anyway, because my brain can only like today I only had limited spoons anyway. I was, like I said, I was very close to cancelling stream entirely, but I didn't. I still pressed go live. Yay, Samba, yay. But it is important that we have these conversations. Hard as it is important we have these conversations. And actually, it's kind of good that we had the conversations today while my deeper emotions are currently unavailable to me. If that makes sense. Oh. Grateful to you for this. Thank you, sleep, to do this. Sleep well. Thank you very much. Someone's got to. Someone has to. And this is the thing, is that I think a lot of people in the world think that somebody else will do it. But no one ever does. So I do it. Because it's still important to have the conversations, you know what I mean? I'm not surprised at all. I appreciate you, Lou. Sending all the love, Lunicorn. I've got all of the mods just kicking off with all the bits and pieces. That's hilarious. I'm going to find some comfort shows or movies between mental health doctor appointment and things. Yeah, absolutely, 100% Tigger, 100%. Well, friends, we are going to go raid somebody. Because I need a bit of a brain cleanser myself. Bit of a brain cleanser myself. So if you could stick around for the raid, I would really, really, really appreciate it. So we can go and just go find someone that's going to be able to help us chill out a little bit, you know? But before we do that, as always, you beautiful, beautiful human beings, could you please throw some mod loves out in the community? 6 minutes ago, Amy Smith redeemed to praise the mods, but could we throw some mod loves in the community? You can use any kind of love hearts from any kind of channel. You can use any kind of mod loves from any kind of channel. Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators, because the moderators, especially today, have been putting in the overtime, apart from Biohazard. How you doing, Biohazard? Thanks for the stream. Richard, you beautiful being. Thank you so much, you beautiful individual. Appreciate you being here. I appreciate all you lurkers, all you beautiful lurkers. Prince Ali, come here, G-Devil. Becky Gone Batty, come here. And Tigger Fellini, come here. All you beautiful beings claiming all of the cheeky kisses. 99k. You cheeky devil. You cheeky devil. I appreciate you, Biohazard. Right, friends. Give me 2 seconds while I find somebody that we can go throw some love at. Got to look after the sick. That's all right. That's all right. Got to look after the kids. That is perfectly fine. Let's go. Do you know what? Fuck it. Let's go see this beautiful bean. They usually play. What are they doing today? All right. All right. Not what I was expecting, but okay. Like, as always, friends, if you can stick around for the raid, I would appreciate it. Even if it's on like 5-10 minutes to go throw some love at another delightful individual, I would really, really appreciate it. Just because it helps us, well, it helps me introduce all of you to new people. Helps me introduce you to new people. And you never know. Maybe we'll raid over to somebody and you'll be like, oh my god, this person is the greatest person that's ever existed ever. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Friends, if you're a subscriber, please copy and paste the first raid message. If you're not a subscriber, please copy and paste the second raid message. That's the first Bot of Vane raid message for subscribers. The second Bot of Vane raid message for non-subscribers. We raided this beautiful bean recently, but let's raid them again because they're beautiful and glorious, and we appreciate them very, very much. Very, very, very much. Friends, like I said, please stick around. I would really appreciate it. While I get this raid going, we're going to go raid another team member because my stream team is the greatest stream team. I'm not going to lie to you. My stream team's the greatest stream team. The only one. It's the only one. It's great. It's just fucking great. Do you know what I mean? I don't think so. New Forest. I'll have a look into it, New Forest Ninja. My brain's just a bit melty at the moment. Friends, we're going to go raid my dear friend. Don't rage quit. Rach is amazing. Rach is absolutely fantastic. A member of the stream team that I'm a part of. I love her to pieces and her delightful Scottish tones. She is currently playing Ocarina of Time, which is a very cozy game that'll help reset my little brain pan. And yeah, just a wonderful, wonderful bean. Just a wonderful, wonderful bean. Let's go throw them some love. Friends, if you're not in the raid up here, please, 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 please click on the link that I have just thrown out down here. We used to do a shout out to let everybody know where we were going, but we stopped doing that because it gives them a heads up that we're coming, and I don't like to spoil the surprise. Do you know what I mean? Don't like to spoil the surprise. Friends, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for us raid the subs, the gift subs, all the cheeky little bits. Thanks so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the conversation and being honest, respectful, and understanding about it. Thank you to those people that felt that they couldn't handle a conversation and chose to walk away from the situation instead of kicking off, because some people definitely always kick off, and that upsets me. Thanks so much to all you beautiful lurkers that have been hanging out here, and thanks so much to all you people watching the VOD on the VODs of Vanity channel. I really, really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow for 1 p.m. BST, that's 1 p.m. British time, where we're going to be doing some puzzle games that you have just seen. Until then, you beautiful beans, don't do anything I wouldn't do, because if I wouldn't do it, I'll fucking kill you. See you all later. Bye, bye, bye.